sacrifice your life.
What the fuck was that, Ken?
Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1.
I've been loving every second. I'm not rooting for injuries openly, but
I just pretended that was Brian Deegan.
I'm so fucking pumped. I'll be like, yeah, bitch, fuck
I will do that.
I'm gonna find him on LinkedIn and be like, "Did you punch a kid in the face? Tell me the truth."
All right, Sean brought his A game tonight. All right, okay, I like it. I like where this is going. And I don't want to put this as like a thing. Like, he wasn't a bad guy as far as we know.
Who said he was a bad guy?
I don't know, but I feel like we're painting him in this light that he was like this bad guy, and I don't want to do that. To this day, I hope you hear this. Fuck you. But rules are rules, okay? Stupid rule, but it was a rule. If you were a Crip and you were cooling in the cut, what do the Bloods do? Are they booling in the butt? Yep. Also, we are extremely juvenile, and yeah, whatever. Fuck you. All right.
You fucking smacked me in the ass, you dumb fuck.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us. Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1. It is so good to be back. Oh, well, there you go. Sorry,
There we
wrong
go.
mic. Yep, I had Paul's mic off, but
It
you know,
is Hanukkah season.
obviously Paul's not
Wait.
here tonight.
Is that Hanukkah season? Is that is that 2 days?
Why is Marcy Playground Sex and Candy playing on my watch right
Hanging around.
now? Yeah, 8 days from today, right? Isn't it? Doesn't it end on Christmas, or is it the day after Christmas? I forget. I should have known.
Hold on.
I should know this. I did go to Hebrew school once.
No, I spelled Hanukkah wrong. It says you just started watching Hannah season 3.
You could just watch 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler.
I could.
That's a great movie, by the way. Hilarious.
Put on your yarmulke.
O.J. Simpson, not a Jew. But guess who is? Hall of Famer Rod Carew. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Joey Fast Radio.
Shit. December 7th to December 15th. We missed it.
Oh, shit. We already missed. So happy Hanukkah.
Shit. Sorry, everybody.
Happy Hanukkah to all of our Hebrew friends. Row 1, seat 1, 774-992-8702. Phone lines are open tonight. We are looking forward to hearing from some of you tonight. We haven't really been using the phones a shit ton the last couple of weeks for various reasons, but they're back up and at it tonight. So get your calls in, get your thoughts in. There's a lot to go around tonight. We got the NCAA, okay, playoffs, the Heisman controversy. Controversy? Come on, Joe. And I haven't done this in a couple of weeks, but controversy.
Was there a controversy?
Well, no.
I disagree with controversy.
I think there's, to me personally, there's no controversy. There's just a bunch of people that don't understand how the Heisman works, apparently, and they're very upset that Genty didn't win and Travis Hunter did, which we'll get into that. I have no problem with Travis Hunter winning it.
I thought Travis Hunter was like a slam dunk to win it at this point.
Not necessarily, but nonetheless, we'll get into that. We'll get into the NFL. We've got, holy shit, where do we even fucking start with that? Sean, your Patriots are turning into...
Holy shit.
Like, overnight, they turned into the Oakland Raiders and the Cleveland Browns, just a dysfunctional franchise with no direction. You know, they've got great talent at quarterback, but no talent anywhere else. They got no coach. They don't know if they're going to have a coach at the end of the year.
I don't know if having a front office.
The owner says they do, but the owner's kid, who's allegedly the one that's taken over, says they don't. So we'll get into that. We'll get into my Broncos, and
one win away.
Sean, I am one win away.
Just one win away
from $1,000.
It's gonna happen.
Well, technically $800.
It's gonna happen.
I need them to win exactly 10 for me to win the extra $200 bonus.
Oh, what the fuck?
But still, $800 is still a good deal. So we've got that. We'll get into my Broncos beating the Colts, which is why I was bummed Paul couldn't be here because I really wanted to rub that in because I felt like his Colts outplayed us most of the day. We'll get into the Detroit Lions and what is going to become of them. We'll get into the NFC playoff picture, which I think is just fascinating. Again, I told y'all, don't sleep on the Rams. That is a team nobody wants to see. Wild card weekend. And they just keep getting hotter and better, and they're probably going to win the division now.
But what happened with Cooper? He just fell off a fucking map.
Does it matter?
They have Puka. Puka basically became Cooper, and then Cooper Cup just is literally...
You got Puka and Koopa and Hoopa and Boopa.
But
Sounds like
literally, he
Amigos. Amigos rhyme.
Literally, he just disappeared.
So we'll get into that. We'll get into the NFC West. We'll get into a little bit of what's going on in the AFC North because, oh boy. Not that I thought Pittsburgh had a chance to beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, but 2023 Russ showed up right in the nick of time. So we'll get into that, plus a lot more. Everything else, we've got a full slate of shit to get into. We got fucking drones flying all over the place and the government being like, what do you mean? I don't know. What's going on? What do you mean there's drones flying all over the place? So, before we get into the sports stuff, allegedly, first of all, welcome back, by the way.
Oh, hey, thank you.
We've missed you the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah, it has.
It's been a rough last 3 months. Let's just put it that way. It's been fucking shitty. Murphy's Law, anything that could go wrong has gone wrong.
It just sometimes it'd be like that.
Knock on wood, everyone's healthy, but everything outside of health has been not great.
Everyone's healthy, thank God. But no, so it's good to have you back because we missed you, especially with all the Patriot stuff we wanted to talk about. Paul was sitting, Paul got to sit here and just gloat, independently with no pushback about his Colts beating the Patriots.
No, I was here after that one.
Were you?
Yeah.
Was that the 1 week you were here?
That was the week, and then everything fell apart after for the next.
Oh, okay. So you did get to push back on. No, you weren't here for that.
No, I said they were terrible. I even before the game, the week before, said
you were here the week before. I don't think you were here the week after.
Oh, I thought I was.
You were here Tuesday before.
Well, he can gloat all about it all he wants because he was 100% right. I even said it the game before. I said Anthony Richardson's going to look like Brett Favre in his prime against the Patriots.
Yeah.
He didn't look like Brett Favre
he
in
did.
his prime,
So
but
he
played pretty well.
We'll start with your Patriots in a minute. But first I want to So this whole drone fucking story is getting like way too much publicity, I think.
I mean, I was pretty invested in it for a while.
I wasn't. You know why? Because
they had light sensors
Because
on
what did you just tell me?
Oh, the feds were like, yeah, they're ours.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
But everyone's like, what are you doing with them? They're like, yeah, we can't tell you.
Yeah, no shit.
So they did come out and say, okay, they're
it's
ours.
It's almost like there was an election, and they're trying to, and the guy who's currently in office just pardoned like 1,500 violent criminals, or I'm sorry, what is it? Not excuse their sentences, but
pardoned. It was pardoned.
No, what's the word they used for your sentence? Jesus Christ, Joe, get your shit together. You should know this.
Not excommunicated. What the fuck?
Something like that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But he did that, and there's more pardons to come. He pardons his shitty kid.
Yep.
And everybody, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Joe Biden's pardoning all these criminals and all these people, and then he's going to start pardoning more people so that Trump won't be able to go after him. And next, oh my God, look at this, you guys! Oh my God, what is this? Drones everywhere! How did they all get there? Oh my goodness, are they aliens? Are they Iranians? Are they going to kill me? I don't know. Like, just right on cue. Right on cue.
Right.
Like, every single time, and this goes back, like, as far as, like 9/11, like, in the Iraqi war days. Like, if you ever want to know, like, the headline is always such, like, a head fake now.
Yeah.
As, like, you ever want to know, like, what the real shit that's going on? Just go back, look at, like, page, like, 13 in the newspaper. You know what I mean? Like, go to, like, the business section, like, page 6, and, like, oh, meanwhile, the feds have admitted that the drones that are flying over actually aren't fucking doing anything. They're just ours, but, they're just there. It's like, oh, okay, gotcha. Never mind.
Enron has an incredible share increase in the last month and a half.
Fucking Enron. Dude, what a scandal that was. But it's just like, dude, like, oh, my God. The whole drone thing was so nauseating because I'm like, I got friends. I won't say which ones. Like, sending me Snapchats loading up, like, fucking armor-piercing rounds. Like, this is it, boys. The invasion's coming, and I'm like,
what?
Stop it.
But the thing
Stop
was,
it. You can't shoot that thing down. And if the invasion is coming, no offense, but if you're my last line of defense, I'm fucked.
Why? Why were?
I know you're training. It's not It doesn't exist.
Why did the people think when it was aliens or some kind of extraterrestrial being, why would the aliens have the lights for like FAA regulations?
No
like,
shit.
The flashing lights. Aliens like,
You know how
what's
we're
up?
really gonna fucking fake them out? Let's put the red and the green lights. You know, make sure that they know it looks regular. You know what I mean? Like we look legit. You know, like do you think the aliens actually took the time to be like, let's see what stupid fucking rules they have? Maybe they did. Maybe they're so much smarter than us that like, look at these fucking cocksuckers. They got fucking running
Light
lights.
bulbs.
What lames? They just don't use telepathy. Like what the fuck? But it's so ridiculous.
Did you see the video of the guy in New Jersey who goes outside with like a 9mm and is just firing into the night sky at a drone?
No, but I did see the one of the guy that in Florida that shot at the Amazon drone and got arrested. Did you see that?
That whole video, the cop
Was like
could not laugh more. He's like,
Dude.
He's like, honestly, sir, thank you for being so honest. This has been so well. And he guy's like, ah. When they had to arrest him, I can't breathe. Ow. And it's like, Jesus. Even
Bro.
the cop was like, buddy,
Dude,
like this is
cuff
too
him-
much.
They like cuff him in the front because he's old and fat, and they're just
Yeah.
like, all right, cuff him in the front. He's not combative. They're like,
Not at all.
and they're just like, and he's just like, I can't breathe, and the cop's like,
Jesus Christ. But the other
Fucking
thing was,
classic.
the guy was like, so tell me what happened. He's like, well, I saw this drone. It had some stuff come down on a tether. It
was
came back
hovering
up.
over my house.
Yeah, came back up, and I shot it a few times. And the guy's like, were you ordering packages? He goes, no. And he goes, my neighbor might have.
I mean, in his defense, I didn't know Amazon drone delivery was a thing yet.
It is in major cities in
And
areas.
also, like, I feel like if it is going to be a thing, maybe, and this is just me, just throwing it out there, maybe make it a little bit more obvious that this is a thing now, and that if you see a drone, you know, it's not like South Park where it's hovering in Craig's mom's windows and looking at her bush.
So you want it like the Chick-fil-A taxi? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Chick-fil-A taxi?
No.
It is literally like half the size of a Mini Cooper. It says Chick-fil-A, and it's in the red and white colors, and it drives on like almost like the bike lane of a street, and it pulls into your house, and it's like, come get your order. And it texts you and everything. And you go outside, you grab it, it closes its doors, and it backs up.
Is
and
it fully
leaves.
automated?
Yeah, 100%. It's all AI.
Bro. I mean, you had me at Chick-fil-A taxi, but that is already better.
Well, Nate, you want to guess the city it's in?
Houston.
Atlanta. I was like,
See,
That's kinda
you know,
fucked up, Chick-fil-A.
Atlanta's probably got Popeyes. They got the Popeyes taxi. Where it
I don't
pulls up,
know.
it's like, come get your chicken, bitch. It's a lot more aggressive.
that'd be funny.
It's a lot more aggressive. Because Houston's a lot more sprawling
But honestly,
than
like
Atlanta.
people are like, that's the next wave of things coming because you don't pay a delivery fee, you don't pay taxes.
Oh,
you don't pay,
you'll pay a delivery fee.
You'll pay a delivery fee, yes, you will, but you won't have to pay like and tip somebody.
Because that thing's not fucking free.
Yeah, you're right. It's like an armored
I mean,
tank.
Jesus Christ. And what happens when that thing breaks?
Imagine it gets a flat. It sends like road flares out. It shoots a firework into the sky.
Fucking absurd. But yeah, technology is going to, the way things are rolling technologically. Like, so I was on a cruise ship this last week,
Yes.
and I was on the Wonder of the Seas from Royal Caribbean. Awesome boat.
Is that the newest one?
No, the Icon is the newest one.
Okay.
Well, there's like two in that class. That's the bigger class. I was on the class below that,
They
which
just
is
keep getting like quadruple the size.
and bigger. Like,
Like
the
I
one,
went on
the-
Oasis and it was like the biggest like 8 years ago, and now it's like a baby.
I think we were on Oasis last year, and it was like, I swear to God, dude, it was tiny compared to this thing.
I know, which is so crazy to me, and
Like,
that felt like gigantic to me.
This one we went on. It's 1,188 feet long, which is pretty fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like a 30-foot draft. Like when you think about it, like that's insane. Draft is how deep the hull goes below the water line. For those that don't know, nerd boat talk. Beam is the width of the boat, you know. So whatever. You know, I know a few nautical terms, man. You know,
You watch the boat channel. and you're like,
Also, I sailed boats for a long time, so you know, had to know those things sometimes. Not that I ever captained one or was anything cool, but needless to say. But I was on the boat, so we're on the ship, and one of the bars they advertise like, oh, you got the bionic bar, and it's just like these robots that make you drinks. And they
Yes.
got all these like bottles hanging from the ceiling of like, you know, whatever, like every bottle of booze you can imagine. And the robots just come, they boom, ice, bang, this, do, and then go back, mixers, and then they send it down this thing. And you're like, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to take like 30 seconds to get a drink. I think I stood there for like 14 fucking minutes waiting for my drink. And I was like, all right, this thing is either the shittiest robot ever or it's broken. Well, one robot was broken. It wasn't working. And the other one was just working at a pace that was like, fuck you, bro, I'm hourly.
I'm
and
not
I was
even
like,
getting tips.
I'm like, all I want is my fucking Grey Goose and cranberry with a splash of pineapple. I get it. It's like, I didn't even get the drink, but the one drink we did get from there was just like, okay, I could have got that from a real person in about 30 seconds. Like, no need to stand here for fucking 7 minutes waiting for my
You're
drink.
just sitting there just like waiting for the drink. It's doing like cocktail type, like flips with the glass for like 30 seconds. You're like,
It's like, all right, Tom Cruise, let's go. Come on, kick it over here. But yeah, it was a great time. The boat was sick. I highly recommend it. If you're a cruise person, you already know.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back.
But
It's gonna be years though.
it was, dude, like the shit they had for kids was insane.
Who's gonna watch the kids while they're there?
No. I mean, like the amount of stuff they had to do with your kids.
Oh yeah.
Like they had this one thing. It was
Here's
like
the thing. I want to
was,
go and enjoy myself, not go on my child's vacation.
you know, that I can't help you with, but also pull out. I don't know.
No. I made the choice. I get it, but sometimes
I'm not. I'm kidding. But they had like this rock wall. So like it's down like so. Just when you think like the boat is ending, which where most normal ships would end, there's like this whole fucking section aft. It's called the boardwalk, and there's like a whole sports bar thing there. There's a
I saw your
a hot
boardwalk,
dog.
and I thought that was the same one I was on, and they were like, "No, it's copied from it."
Yeah, it's got like a hot dog station, a candy store.
Yep.
Like, bro, they got emergency slides from the top deck down to the glizzies. So, like, if you're like, need a glizzy, fucking boom, down the slide.
See, I don't know how I feel about that.
Instant-
A slide that goes like 11 floors down. I'm
It's
like,
awesome.
I don't need that.
Did I go on them? No. But
My fat ass would break to the
my
side of it,
wife,
and I'd wrap the back
my
of the
wife
boat.
and my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, they all enjoyed the shit out of the slides.
Yeah.
Me, kind of fat, kind of scared about getting stuck in one and drowning. You know,
Yeah, that's a legit fear. Like, I'd be like, I'm gonna go down it. My leg would bend
like
backwards.
imagine how embarrassing that would be. Like, how did he die? Like, he died on a cruise ship. Like, what happened? Like,
Oh, he fall off the side?
he fall off the
No.
side, did, like a cable break, and like he got his head severed off. Like, no, he went down a water slide and his fat ass got stuck in it, and he drowned while they were trying to figure out why he hadn't come out the other side yet. And I'm like, and just me, just like all bloated and fat and gross, just blue. And they're like, ooh, rough hit.
They're like, wow, we really didn't see that one coming. It's like,
Right?
yeah.
You know, so I stayed off of them, but there was like the whole boardwalk thing. They have like a big amphitheater in the back
Yes.
for shows.
The diving show.
And like, dude, I'm sitting back there on football Sunday, like the day we were on the boat watching football, you know, watching my parlay come up 7 yards short of $2,600 again.
Caleb Williams cost me by not throwing 2 touchdowns last night.
Well, Caleb Williams sucks. We'll get into that.
I know, but I thought he could at least score. Can't even do that.
Dude, he's like the Beavis and Butthead of scoring. It just doesn't happen. But it was a sick ship. It was super cool. Like, you have the Johnny Rockets thing, whatever. So
Oh, yeah.
just when you think you're to the end, like you get to the boardwalk part and you're like, oh, there's more.
Mm-hmm.
And you get through it and you're just like, dude, this is pretty fucking rad. And I forget where I was going with this, but it was sweet.
No, we're just talking in general about the cruise you just
Yeah,
came on.
no,
and
but
everything
the
else.
sports bar was dope. The wings were lit. I did get the buffalo wings
Mm.
because you had to. Johnny Rockets, probably still one of my favorite cheeseburgers. You've done that with me before.
That's so funny. Johnny Rockets is like notoriously on every cruise ship for the Royal Caribbean anyway.
It's their thing. But it was dope.
They have hibachi. They always have a hibachi.
Yeah, there's a hibachi. There's a hibachi, a seafood restaurant. There's so many restaurants
It's always
now.
the most like borderline racist name. It's like Ming Tao is like
This one I think was like
hibachi.
Izuminaya or something
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It was like Azumi or something like that. And every time we walk by it, we were like Azumi and bow to it.
Yeah, they don't want you. They don't want to be fucked up, so they put like a temple on there. They're like, oh, Egyptian? Who
Yeah,
knows?
who knows? You don't know. I don't know.
Come
We don't
on
know.
in.
But it was great because this year there was like usually in years past, football nights were like it was almost like tough to find bars that were playing the football games.
No, not right now. Not
Now,
on that boat.
bro, now the newer ships, dude, like you can't go anywhere without seeing the bar, without seeing the game.
The only thing is, if you went to like the giant screen in the back, you'd be like, put the Broncos on this game. They're gonna be like, no.
Did I watch the Broncos on the boat? No, they were on the bye week. I didn't have to.
Oh, they're in the bye week. Last
we
week?
had the bye
Okay.
week last, so it worked out perfectly. Actually,
You got lucky.
I did. So I got home. I think I walked in my house after we got home off the flight from Boston. We got home. I walked in my house. I turned on the TV. I think there was like 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Okay.
So, and that's after I went to my parents' house, picked up my dog, hung out with them for a little bit, came home. I was fucking exhausted. I was
Yeah,
just
of
like,
course. You need a vacation day from the vacation.
Dude, you need like days to recover from your vacation.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know, I could use probably one more day, but
You're not gonna get it.
it is what it be, bro. It is what it be. Anyway, let's get into some sports.
All right.
774-992-8702. Oh, we were in Cape Canaveral for one of Elon's rocket launches. That was pretty cool.
Where it was
Last
catching
Saturday
or
night.
launching
No,
off or
launching.
catching? Oh, okay.
So I got to see one launch, like pretty close. Not nearly as loud as you would hope.
No, it's all reusable now. That's why.
Dude, I was like, I remember like seeing rocket launches when I was a kid, and they were so fucking loud, and I was like waiting for that. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, we're this close? Because we're like, I'm on my balcony of my hotel. I'm like, I can see it with the naked eye. It's like
Yeah.
right there. And I'm like, yo, this is going to fucking shake the fuck out of this place. It's going to be sick.
No.
Dude was like, and I'm like, fucking gay, bro. Damn. Like,
Electric.
I was like, that is, it was, dude, it was. It was like, I was like, fucking Tesla. Like, God damn it.
Yeah, but no, the whole thing is about stop blowing money. That's his biggest joke. He's like, is there any reason why we need to have like big explosions to launch these ships off? And his engineers were like, no. And he's like, save money and just reuse the parts. And the guy's like, all right, well, if we can catch it, like I would save even more money. And he's like, And now he has whatever.
Mecha Robo Arms.
Yeah,
Fucking rockets out of the
It
sky.
has a name, but it's it's nicknamed like the Catcher because it literally just catches the rocket from the sky.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It is real, but
It's
that's
super cool,
That's gonna
actually.
be that's the first start of like transporting. Like they want to do transport.
Yep.
Or if they get to the moon, they can like get some moon rocket. It's gonna be worth like X amount of the same amount as gold. They said.
And literally everybody is on board except Liz Warren, you know, naturally, because.
Oh, she wants to get rid of him because he's like, oh, conflict of interest.
Yep. She's like, I don't know what you think you're doing, but this conflict. Shut the fuck up, bitch, you fake ass Indian. Ain't nobody give a fuck what you say no more. We done with
Man,
you.
I don't know how she keeps winning this. I know how she.
What do you mean, dude? We live in Massachusetts. I mean, enough said.
I
have
can't
you
stand her.
have you met most of the people we know? Like,
I can't stand Elizabeth Warren. Just personal.
oh, same.
Just obnoxious. Human
Same.
being.
Same. Like when my boss took her off my schedule when I was selling solar years ago, and he took her off my schedule, and I was like, "Hey, why'd that league get taken off my calendar?" And he just looked at me and goes, "Seriously?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Because I didn't want to fucking fire you." And I was like, "That's why you're a legend, Pete.
Ah.
That's why you're a legend."
She wouldn't have bought it anyway.
Well, I would have gotten kicked out, and they would have gone with probably a different company. But they did go with my company because they gave put a great rep in that position to do it. And I asked him, I was like, "Oh, did you give her like a 1/10,028th discount?" And everybody got a good hearty chuckle out of that. And then I kept firing zingers in through the next meeting. They're like, "Oh,
Doug,
okay,
we got it.
That's enough." But whatever, fuck her. Anyway, let's talk some football. So
Where do you want to begin?
let's start with the Heisman thing because
Okay.
I'm going to get to the NFL, but the Heisman and the NCAA shit's going to be quick because first and foremost, I just want to say, fuck the NCAA playoff committee, fuck the AP, and fuck everybody who fucking kept Miami out of the playoffs this year. Fuck you. Just fuck you. You are a bunch of fucking dickbag, spineless, shithead, pussy-ass motherfuckers, respectfully, and you can go fuck yourself. Like, that shit has gone up my ass sideways since the day it happened. How the fuck are you going to keep a 2-loss Miami team out? But you're going to put some shit bums in there. You're going to give, what, Indiana a fucking first-round bye? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Miami was, for all intents and purposes, the best offense in college football this year. Yes, their defense had shortcomings. We knew that. Yes, they were not, the second coming of the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. However, Cam Ward was the best quarterback in college football this year. Miami was the best offense in college football this year. They had 2 losses. One of them was to a Georgia Tech team that took Georgia to what, 8 overtimes?
Yes.
I think it was 8 overtimes they got to. And hold on.
So wait, the final bracket, just so I make sure, I want to be on the same page as everybody. Final bracket currently is the 4 teams that got to buy is Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and the Sun Devils. Right? Those are the top 4. And then after that, it's Ohio State, Texas, Clemson. Who's the other one?
What do you wait? Hold on. What are you looking
Indiana, Notre Dame, the Mustangs,
at? That's
Penn State.
SMU.
Yeah, the Mustangs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Volunteers, Tennessee Volunteers. Okay.
Yeah, Tennessee.
I was like, which one am I missing? Okay, the Vols.
But here's my thing. Okay, here's what pisses me off is you've got Tennessee with 2 losses, same as Miami. Why are they in? They
Are
have
they
no
going by
business being in.
strength of schedule or are they going by offensive points scored?
Arizona State with 2 losses somehow gets no.
Arizona State has a bye.
I'm sorry, Arizona. Yeah, because they won their conference, which is fucking bullshit. Like this is what needs to change. They were trying like fucking hell to prop up a 3-loss Alabama team.
Well, they just wanted the name. But there's
Oh no, sorry, Alabama did get in.
Alabama's not in.
No, I'm sorry, they didn't. They were ranked 11, but they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, they were.
So they did everything they could to get a 3-loss SEC team in over a 2-loss ACC team in Miami.
Well, it's SEC. That's why.
Right, exactly. So they can comfortably go fuck themselves, and I don't ever want to hear their shit again. They fucked Miami big time this year, and fuck you, and not for nothing, but listen, we're going to see real quick what the problem with a 12-team playoff is. And I know my buddy at work talk, he's been all over saying like Boise State is gonna go on watch. He's like Boise State's gonna go win it all. Which
Why? Because of what's his name? The
Genty, the
Genty.
running back. Which, don't get me wrong, would be fucking hilarious if Boise State goes on and wins this whole fucking thing somehow. It would be hysterical because it would just basically cripple all the fucking college football purist retards in the South. They'd be like, "What you mean an SEC team didn't win? Who the fuck? Where is Boise? That shit potato country? Fuck yeah!" Or they'd be like, "That's plumb wild, isn't it?" And they would. Did you see that video I sent you, by the way?
The Plum Wild
Yeah.
one? No.
Oh my God, you're an asshole. Anyway,
Which one is that on?
I'll say I don't know. I forget, but probably Facebook.
James
But they'd be
Williams.
like, but it would turn everything. It would turn everything up. Wow, we talking about 9-inch BBC Bulls. It would turn everything upside down in terms of college football. But the problem is that Boise State, in all likelihood, is going to get absolutely fucking bodied in their first game. Like, who are they going to end up playing? Right, because it's all about matchups. Hold on,
They're going to play Boise State.
They're going to play the winner.
SMU or Penn State. They got that.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, so maybe they beat Maybe they beat SMU.
They beat both of those teams.
Penn State's gonna roll them, dude.
No.
Roll them.
Penn State's not that great this year.
No, I know, but they should be better than fucking Boise State. But then you get to the end, dude. Like, you're not getting through Georgia. They're not getting through Texas. They're not getting through. They're not getting through Ohio State.
The Oregon matchup I like. Oregon has to face either Ohio State or the Vols. I'm like, that's.
But Oregon already beat Ohio State earlier this year on that not for nothing, but Ohio State kind of had a chance to win that game.
I still feel like the right side of the bracket, it's gonna end up being Georgia. That's what it just feels like to me. But the left side, there's some parity there. It could be Oregon. It could be the Sun Devils.
I think it's gonna be
Clemson. It could be Texas.
I think it's gonna be Oregon, Georgia, and everybody's gonna go, oh, okay. Well, all the rest of it was a waste of time. We're gonna go, yeah, duh.
But
I think
you gotta give them a chance.
Unfortunately, because I think we're still a year or two away from this playoff format really, like, truly functioning the way it's supposed to, which is with parity throughout college football. I think we need another year or two.
Well, they want to add more teams again.
Yeah, adding more teams isn't going to be good. Adding more ability for
they want
guys like Bill Belichick to go out and or utilize the transfer portal.
Oh, I didn't know how big of a University of North Carolina fan I was until like a few days ago.
It's so weird. It's like all of a sudden everybody in Massachusetts was like, they either love UNC or they're like, you getting Bill the coach or you getting Bill the GM? Because I'll tell you what, brother, if you're getting Bill the GM, you're fucked.
Doesn't matter. He's not even going to be GM in his own team. He's at the fucking emperor role. He can do whatever he wants. He can name his own successor. It's ridiculous.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so awesome.
Everyone around here is just wearing baby blue Jordan jerseys, just walking around.
University of North Carolina, raise up. Like, oh God, Petey Pablo is gonna become the next new mantra for this area.
God.
But anyway, yeah. Anyway, so fuck the selection committee. I hope Oregon wins it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Georgia deserves to win it, but they're probably going to be close. I would love to see Boise State win it, to be quite frank. Because, again, I think that would just turn everybody on their fucking head, especially all the SEC fucking...
Would that mean Genty's like a top 2 pick?
I don't know. It depends on who's picking where.
It's the Patriots and 2 quarterback-heavy teams. Dependent, needed teams.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So
it's going to be what, the Giants, the Raiders, us... Fuck, who's the 4th one?
Shitty team right now, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville might have to blow up everything again. Dude, Mac Jones is only good for fucking one of us over. That's all he's good for.
Dude, seriously. Fucked me out of $1,700 2 weeks ago. You know?
The dude is unbelievable. Like, he is just a cursed individual playing the game.
Yeah, unless he's playing me.
Just
for any reason.
Just grittying in the end zone. They're losing by 18 points. Just dancing.
Just doing his thing. So yeah, the committee fucking blows. Fuck them. They can kiss my dick. And you know what? I should do what I did. We should do what we did to my sister and brother-in-law. Go stick pineapple magnets on their fucking doors every time they go on vacation.
They would actually be probably pretty happy with that.
Hopefully, you know what? Actually, you're right. They would be. They'd look at that note and they'd be like, 9-inch BBC bull. Better add 3 or 4 more inches to that, sir. I won't even consider it.
How Americanly average.
Yeah.
But no, I know the NCAA playoffs are about to kick off and all that, but the Heisman was the biggest news.
Yes.
And Travis Hunter winning it. To me, Travis Hunter seemed like a slam dunk. He's a two-way player. He plays almost double the amount of snaps as the next guy, and he plays very well. The only thing that scares me is that do I want Travis Hunter in the NFL on my team? Because my biggest knock with the NFL, he's slim. Those guys with that body type do not make it in the NFL. I can't say it fucking enough.
I don't. Here's the thing with so first and foremost, let's talk the Heisman before we get to his NFL projections. People were very confused as to why he won the Heisman. Apparently, they were very like caught off guard that Genty, who had 2,400 and change yards rushing, 29 touchdowns or 30 touchdowns.
It's absurd. Yeah,
crazy numbers.
Yep.
Not better than Melvin Gordon's 2014 season, mind you, which he lost the Heisman to Marcus Mariota, where I'm pretty sure Melvin Gordon outdid Genty in just about every single major category.
Oh, my God. 3 yards shy of 2,500, 29 touchdowns, 350 touches. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He's going to be burnt out in like 2 years.
You hope not. You hope when he gets to the NFL they put him on a pitch count because I feel like the kid's got talent. And, I also really hope that he falls to Denver because I really feel like he could be our Alvin Kamara. But that being said, people were very confused as to why he won the Heisman. I don't understand where the confusion was coming from. People like, oh, Travis Hunter was a mediocre receiver and a mediocre DB on a mediocre team. I'm like, did you watch anything at all this year? Like, first of all, Travis Hunter, I believe, was in the top 4 for interception percentage when targeted. So they never threw his way, and when they did, he still picked off. I think it was 4 passes, which was one more or one less than Charles Woodson had the year he won the Heisman. If I'm not mistaken, or was it 3?
So he has 4 deceptions this season.
I think Charles Woodson had 7 the year he won the Heisman. But when you look at the receiver numbers, 1,100 yards and whatever, 10 touchdowns, whatever he had.
He's a few receptions short of 100, 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns.
14 touchdowns.
He averages 51 yards a game just playing wide receiver.
Yeah.
Averages.
So
in his career.
He was one of the top wide receivers in college football. Not the top. But on the other side of the coin, He was one of the best corners in the game. Now, people are like, oh, but his numbers, he was a mediocre corner. No, he was not. I'm sorry. If you think Travis Hunter was a mediocre corner, you clearly weren't paying attention, and you clearly need to go back and watch the fucking games. You don't know what you're talking about. He was one of the best corners in football. It doesn't, like, people don't understand. They didn't have much else on the other side of him.
No, they had nothing.
So they didn't throw to him. But when they did, he still picked off 4 passes, which is, again, I believe why he was in the top 4 or 5 for interception rate per target.
Yeah.
So
no, he was phenomenal.
He was a top 5 corner for all intents and purposes, arguably the best corner in the league in college football. I mean, you could maybe name 1 or 2 other ones, but spare me the bullshit. And then he was 1,214 touchdowns is nothing to spit at either. So when you have a guy that does both of those things, and he's like, yeah, but Genty rushed for 2,400 yards. Cool, man. Melvin Gordon. That was, I think, Genty's rushing season was like the 4th best in college football history.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good question.
I want to say, I know Melvin Gordon was better. I want to say Barry Sanders was better. And I'm trying to think, wasn't Ron Dane. Who was the other one? There was another one. There's somebody else that was better.
Hold on. Number 1 was Herschel Walker.
So Herschel Walker, Barry Sanders, Melvin Gordon.
Holy shit, that's a fucking ton of yards, dude. My God, okay. Number 2 was Barry Sanders, Oklahoma State. That was not a given. Ricky Williams. I didn't think about Ricky Williams at all.
I forgot about Ricky, too.
Ricky Williams was a big draft pick coming out when he went to Seattle and then was like, meh.
No, New Orleans.
Oh,
that was when Mike Ditka traded away all
I'm thinking of Ricky Waters.
Yep.
No, Ricky Williams, you're right. Yeah, obviously he traded his whole life away. And then number 4, Archie Griffin, Ohio State, 1972.
Not better than Melvin Gordon.
Tony Dorsett. Bo Jackson. Where's Melvin Gordon? Red Grange. Charles White.
Yeah, I don't know
Dylan
what metrics
Walker,
they're using to
Marcus Allen.
I don't know what they're using
Earl
to measure
Campbell,
this, but
Ron Dane, Jim Brown, OJ, Jim Thorpe, AP. I think it's based on how many games and how much they average.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Because I know that one 2014 Melvin Gordon season was, I believe, the 3rd best season ever. It's definitely better than Genty's, and Genty was 4th. So
still crazy.
So
Genty's putting up a crazy season. The guy has so much yards after contact, which is important for running backs. But the very big thing you're going to hear all going into draft season, all going to pro, because he's going to go pro. How many hits has his body already taken? How much longer can it last?
But on the flip side, Sean, with the way the new practice rules are, does that now benefit guys because they've built it up a little bit where they're not going to be able to? They're not going to have training camp and practices.
Not at all.
To build up like they used to.
Here's my counterpoint: the Georgia trio of running backs. You had Gurley, Sony Michel, and Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
Chubb was the longest lasting one, and he's already all done. And it's only been like 5-6 years.
Chubb's been around for a minute.
Chubb and Michel were drafted the same year, 2018.
Yeah, that's 6 years ago. And Chubb had, two devastating freak injuries.
Yeah, everyone in that the running back group, and that was a 3-headed trio in Georgia, and they still got the fucking shit hammered out of them.
But yeah, don't get me wrong.
It's everything short term now. Everything.
Which is why running backs don't fetch the money. We get it. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Running backs will make a good team great, but they'll never make a mediocre team good. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't work that way. Same thing with wide receivers. You know what I mean? Yeah, you need them, but you don't need to spend a lot on them. And the running back thing is kind of along the same lines. So I just don't. I'm okay with the touches in college.
Okay,
I'm okay with that because he's young. And again, I feel like it's building up that callus. Now, we talk about it all the time. Mm-hmm. Bill Belichick talked about it all the time. Every NFL guy, all these other people are coming out now saying, these new practice rules suck because you're not allowed to hit in the spring. You're not allowed to hit in training camp. And then you get to the season, you start hitting, the guys get hurt. And it's because you haven't built up that callus to being hit.
Big time.
It's starting to become more mainstream, more talked about. injuries are through the roof. We know that. All these rules the NFL has changed have done nothing to prevent injuries.
Right.
In fact, all it seems to have done is make them worse, at least to the players that they were supposedly trying to protect the most. But when you look at when you have a guy in college like that, maybe it's going to be a little bit of a benefit, at least his rookie year. Maybe he doesn't hit the rookie wall as hard, because he has all summer off. He's like, oh shit, like can't hit in practice. Like, oh, this is kind of nice, like he's used to getting beat up for a couple years.
Right.
Then he comes in. Maybe he'll be a little fresher, a little spring in his step. Now, again, I don't know, because all it takes is one fucking weird hit and your career is over. Like,
yes, that's all it does take is one weird hit. No matter how much practice you have, nobody knows their punch clock. Nobody knows how many hits until that next one is the one that breaks the straw.
Right.
You know what I mean? Me and you could be best shape of our lives. We're out there playing, never had any freak injuries, and all of a sudden we're running, plant the wrong way, and we blow our Achilles. We blow a calf muscle. What the fuck happened to T.J. Watt a few days ago? What did he was? You could see the non-contact injury. He was planting to go bend around the corner. Bend around the tackle, and you saw the leg pop, and he dropped to the ground. And he just grabbed his foot, and he grabbed his calf. I don't know if it was severe. I don't know if it was a Liz Frank injury. I don't know if it was an ankle. I don't know if it was a high ankle sprain.
I think it was a sprain.
High ankle sprain this time of the season, though. That could be an ender.
Because I thought he was on the injury report today.
He was definitely in the injury report.
In a good way, though. He's according to Rappaport, injuries not long term, probably good for playoffs at least.
Okay, so maybe take 2-3 weeks off.
Yeah.
Done. Because the 3 weeks left in the season? Is that correct?
There's 3 weeks left. Everybody's got 3 games left.
Oh my God! I have to face Buffalo twice. You might see Gerard Mayo get fined before week 17. I just realized that.
Yeah, so they got to play. Everybody's gonna play 3 more games.
Fuck.
And then wild card weekend.
Holy shit! I'm fucked.
So, what is it? January 8th, I believe, or whatever that weekend is of January is the start of the playoffs.
They've moved it back officially 1 week. So yes. No. The following January. I think that's like the second week of January now.
Let me see. I'll tell you right now.
Because we have this Sunday coming, which is going to be like what, the 20 fucking first, the 20th.
Yes.
21st.
So 1, 2.
1.
The 5th is the final day of the season.
So it has to begin
January
around
12th. The 11th and the 12th are going to be wild card weekend.
Yes, and don't forget, there's a fucking.
And then a Monday night game on the 13th.
There's a football game next Wednesday on Christmas Day.
Yes,
on
there
Amazon. I don't like that.
No. It's the Chiefs too, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Wow, they fucked that one over. I like Christmas being basketball. That's my whole growing up. It's always been basketball. If you're gonna watch sports on Christmas, it's never been football unless it falls on Christmas Day. So I don't like that at all. What happened?
I'm just.
Oh, okay.
Doing something.
I thought like someone was calling in and you were like trying to pick up and it wasn't going through.
I'm just trying to. I don't know why everything like logged out of my computer. I'm just trying to find out what like. Nothing. Don't worry about it. Christmas Day games are next week. Let's see. They're this week. Yeah, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Christmas Day, 1:00.
Is Kansas City going to lose another game? Doesn't feel like they are.
In a way, I hope not. But
and they're so fraudulent. Like you watch the Chiefs team. They struggle offensively, defensively, but they have the Patriots aura now, where teams go in there and they just fuck up inexplicably.
Somehow they just fuck it up,
and they're just like, we probably should call a timeout here, but we're gonna go for an onside kick. It's like, why? What are you talking about?
Talk about that aura real quick and how well it worked out for you for 20 years. Why go make a drink and take a piss?
Oh, but it did work out for me for 20 years. And while Joey takes that quick break, the Chiefs are now benefiting from that. From I would say for at least the next 5 years, or until Andy Reid calls it a career, whenever that's going to be. But if you watch the Chiefs this year, I know a few weeks ago, if you watch the show, if you listen to us regularly, I compared this Chiefs team to the 2019 Patriots, if you're a Patriots fan. That team was excellent to begin the year. They won 8 or 9 games straight to begin the year. Then at the end, they started to falter. you're not really seeing the faltering right now with the Chiefs. You're getting the same exact consistency that you had the first 8 or 9 weeks of the season with the Chiefs team. But, you have it's this time of the year. If you notice there's a trend going on, and I'm not a Mahomes hater. I'm not. I think Mahomes is incredible. I'm glad we have a caliber of quarterback like that playing right now because you always need that excellent ace in the hole that has longevity in the league. It makes for a good product. It makes for a good competition. It's someone to compare your guys to, just like we had the Mannings, the Bradys, the Brees. I guess if you want to say Rodgers, even though Rodgers is kind of shitting all over his shine right now for the past few years. The other thing I want to say about going back to the Chiefs is that the Chiefs and the Patrick Mahomes thing, at this time of the year, every year, Patrick Mahomes tends to have a limp that develops at this time of the year. Now, could it be wear and tear? Sure. Could it be just him pulling shit out of his ass and saying he's hurt so it makes him look even better? Also, sure. I think it's maybe you start to see Mahomes not play as much, and then you maybe see them dwindle and lose a couple of these games going down the stretch. And it's not going to really matter. They're 13-1 or whatever their record is, 12-1, 13-1. I can't remember. But essentially, as long as they have the first place seed locked up and they're getting that first bye, I really don't think it matters what happens. But you're seeing essentially what NFL fans hated the Patriots for 2001 to 2018 was the same shit that's now happening with the Chiefs. The Chiefs have taken over that mantle, and they're getting the calls. They're getting the floppiness of the plays. The ball's bouncing into their hands, but generally it bounces to the other team's hands. They're just getting that Buffalo Wild Wings commercial treatment where things mysteriously happen in their favor, and they're
and it
expanding
pisses me
on
off.
It pisses everybody off.
But it's like it couldn't go to like a team I don't hate, like Green Bay, or I don't know, Minnesota or Philly. You know what I mean? Like,
Philly had their time.
Not really. Philly's been pretty fucked the whole time.
Nah, but Nick Sirianni's kind of a dickhead. Like them not winning, I'm like, Nick Sirianni's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah, but they're winning now. I mean, they won 10 straight. They're pretty good. But that whole Kansas City aura thing is just it's they took the horseshoe out of the Patriots' ass, and they were just like, let's put it in ours.
But that's what makes people believe the NFL is rigged. Exactly what you said. The Patriots ending right when they did, and the Chiefs picking that up in the AFC at the exact same time is too coincidental to not be labeled as something as a higher power intervening.
Mm-hmm. Like, how do I say? So when I was on when we were on the ship all week, obviously I'm a sports nut, so I'll talk to anybody about sports. I'll be sitting in the hot tub.
Oh, same. Yeah.
You know, you got a Pittsburgh Steelers hat on. You know what I mean? And I'll talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to Aaron. Like, he was a cool dude. And like we'll be sitting there and like I'll talk to anybody. And so like I forget who it was. Somebody was saying it. They're like, yeah, man. They're like, it's got to be rigged. Like, how does it just like how do the Chiefs keep winning this year? And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't get it.
If you watch the games, DeAndre Hopkins looks like an old man.
Because he is.
Travis Kelce looks like he's ready to retire.
Because he probably is.
Mahomes is running for his life half the time and has the Mahomes end of the year limp that goes on every year like clockwork at this point.
And now he's actually hurt, legitimately hurt with a high ankle sprain.
Yes.
And like I said, that was the problem with the Chiefs' schedule, which is why I was making sure I was right. They've got a game on Sunday, then they play again Wednesday, and that puts them, I believe, at like 3 games. I think they play the following Saturday.
Player safety, though,
like
Joseph. Player safety.
Oh, yeah, player safety.
This is the best for player safety. It's the best for ratings, but it's best for player safety as well.
So, yeah, the Chiefs play – oh, I'm sorry. They play Saturday, December 21st. They play this Saturday. Then they play Wednesday. And then they play the final Sunday of the season.
Ridiculous.
So, that means they're playing – They just played Sunday. They got a game in 6 days, and they got a game 4 days after that. Mm-hmm. Like they were like, oh yeah, by the way, here you go. Like that's and again the way the NFL hides behind this like guise of player safety, like they actually give a fuck, is hilarious. And anybody who believes it is just either
stupid.
I was going to be nicer than that, but
yeah, you have to be fucking dumb.
You're fucking retarded. I'm sorry. Like, if you think the NFL actually fucking cares about player safety, you're fucking retarded. There's no nice way to put it.
No, absolutely
because they
not.
don't. They've never cared about player safety. It's always been about the bottom dollar. And then you have these people that sit there and they're like, oh well, I don't mind it because I don't want to watch fucking backups. Cool, man. What have you been watching all year?
God.
What have you been watching all year, bro? What do you watch all year, every year?
If you're a Detroit Lions fan, this is the closest you've ever become.
Dude.
Right? This is the closest you've ever come, the greatest your team's ever been on paper in about 60 years, and I'm not joking. And you have 22 players on injured reserve.
Isn't that insane?
22.
And not just like 22
11
like
are starters.
Yeah, not just 22 like, oh, special team, oh, we got hit one hard at this position. No. 11 starters, including your fucking Aiden Hutchinson, your all-pro elite pass rusher. Now David Montgomery, your number one running back.
All pro.
Like,
I mean, they have Jahmyr Gibbs, sure, but Gibbs and Montgomery worked extremely well off each other and benefited from each other.
So let's go there real quick to the Detroit Lions, because we did want to talk about this before the show started. The Lions, there's no way they're winning a Super Bowl.
Well, if they do,
as much as I want them to, I'm just saying there's no way, because their defense, after watching what Josh Allen did to that defense,
decimated.
And you have been driving this bus.
I know I'm right.
Since June. That the Buffalo Bills are only as good as Josh Allen is going to allow them to be, because they are not a great team. No. Josh Allen is going to have to be Superman every single week.
Yes.
For the Buffalo Bills to win.
Because Detroit came all the way back within 6.
Yes. And so far, so good for the Buffalo Bills. But that being said,
the clock is ticking. It's almost midnight. Is he a pumpkin or is he crippled? Pick one.
Yeah. He's a crippled pumpkin.
Might be both.
Like, Josh Allen might look like Ronnie Coleman after the season's done.
Yes.
Like, just from the wear and tear he's putting on his body. Now, you know me.
Lightweight, baby. just doing T-bars.
He's just got 7 plates on the bar. He's just like, yeah,
nothing but a peanut.
Like, and you're like, no, Josh, we don't need you to be doing that. He goes, no, you don't think you do. I have to put this whole team on my back. Actually, could you add another plate? Like,
I literally picked up our tight end and carried him to the end zone.
Yeah. Like, so, and I love Josh Allen. You know me, I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. I want Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl, because to me, right now, he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
This season, absolutely.
That team, the Buffalo Bills, are not a great football team. They're a good football team with a great quarterback.
They're poor.
The Detroit Lions were a great football team.
They're still a very good football team. That's a depth team.
But defensively,
nah, they don't got it.
Brother, they are cooked. Cooked.
Well, what are you going to do?
They can't stop a nosebleed. And everybody wants to kill Dan Campbell for going for the onside kick with 12 minutes to go in that game. I'm like, brother, what's the chances at that point? What are the odds you're stopping Josh Allen? 0. What are the odds we recover this onside kick? You're like, 4.3. You're like, well, that's better than 0. Take the onside kick. Okay, like, I'm not even going to kill Dan Campbell for that.
No, people shouldn't.
Is Dan Campbell was he ultimately, even if this team was healthy, going to cost his team at some point in the playoffs?
Possibly.
I believe so. But I think if they were healthy, I think if they'd be so good, it wouldn't have mattered. And I think it's a real shame that we're not going to get to see the Detroit Lions at full strength in January, because I think that's what we all wanted to see all year. And now we're going to just see a mash unit on defense just trying to patch shit together. And it's not like the trade deadline's, coming up, then go make a couple of moves and say, fuck them picks, like, let's go win now.
No.
Nah, man. Like, we are at the point of the season, you run what you brung. And you are who you are right now. Mm-hmm. And this is it. So figure it out. And the Lions, I believe, to me, they are cooked. Cooked. I think they're just, I think Green Bay is going to be better than them. Minnesota is going to be better than them. I think the Rams could beat them. Listen, Philly can definitely beat them.
Yeah, I think
I just named 4 teams, 2 within their own division, that I think can beat them in the playoffs. Whether they get the wild card, whether they get the first round bye or not, I think they're just a sitting duck. And yeah, sure, Jared. I mean, people forget, like, Jared Goff had a pretty fucking amazing game on Sunday too. So
he did.
It's not like he was just like out there like slumming it up and they happened to score whatever 40-something points. Mm-hmm. No, that was a lot of Jared Goff. But how much more can you ask from Jared Goff at this point? Like, he's giving you everything he's got. that defense at some point is going to have to try to stop a nosebleed. And maybe they get creative. I don't know. But all I know is come January, what do we always say? It's a tale as old as time, Sean. How do you win football games in January?
All defense wins the Super Bowl.
You run the ball and you play good defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Which is why I don't think my Broncos are going anywhere fast. Like, listen, I know we're probably gonna go to the playoffs. We're gonna get
It seems like it's gonna happen.
We're gonna get in the dance. I'm gonna win $1,000 or ish because of that. And that's a great first season for Bo Nix. But we can't run the ball. So we're one-dimensional on offense. It's going to kill us. Ultimately, it's going to be our undoing. Detroit, they just took a huge hit at running in the running the ball category, and they've been taking hits on defense all year. Like I don't see how it's sustainable for Detroit. And I want them to be good. I want Detroit in the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be great for the league. Dan Campbell, the story, my boy Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, you love these guys. I love Jared Goff. You know what a huge fan I've been of Jared Goff his entire career.
I've never been a Goff fan.
You haven't, but I have. And I've always been behind Jared Goff. It helps that I think his wife might be like the third or fourth hottest female on the planet. But, neither here nor there. That being said, you can't sit here and look at me dead in the eyes and tell me that you honestly believe the Detroit Lions in their current state are a Super Bowl caliber team.
No, but they might luck into it.
But how?
Offensively, you can get there.
But Sean, we see this every year.
I know.
Teams big time off. I mean, look at Peyton Manning and the Colts, 03, 04. You know what I mean? Those early Colts teams, the Rams teams that we thought
the
should.
offense can get you there, but it doesn't guarantee you the win.
Arizona Cardinals in 08 and 09. You know what I mean? Like, they had shit defenses and great offenses. Got them there. They got there. You're right. They put points on the board, and they can score with anybody.
Yep.
But at some point, you're going to need a turnover. You're going to need to stop. You're going to need to win the game. The game isn't always going to be 41-38, where you can just go out and have a shootout every night. Ask the Cowboys last year.
I'm just bringing up like the odds of like teams making it, right? And
to the Super Bowl or the playoffs?
No, the Super Bowl. Denver has the 5th best odds in the AFC.
That doesn't really surprise me. They got a great defense, but what they don't have is a running game. But we'll get into them in a minute. I want to finish up with it. I want to kind of do a little bit of this Detroit thing first.
Okay, sorry. You can go back to Detroit.
No, it's fine. Look up what you were looking up, because I think you were.
I'm going to the NFC right now. I just happened to see it. Detroit still, as of this morning, 34% chance to make it. The only team higher is Philadelphia.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise. Why? What is Philadelphia doing better than anybody right now? Running the football. Like,
their line is unstoppable. That push is like automatic 3 yards every single time.
But not even that. Look at what Saquon Barkley has brought to that team.
Oh,
like
monster.
I said, like I said a couple of weeks ago, you weren't here for this one, but when we talked about, the MVP race and Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley and all this stuff, a running back will make a good team great. Right. And we're seeing that with Baltimore and Philadelphia, which is why I think that could very well be the matchup this year. I would not be surprised one bit if we got a Baltimore-Philly Super Bowl.
Nah.
I don't know who's getting excited about that outside of my 2 friends that I have that are Philly fans and my 1 friend that's a Baltimore fan. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be hard-pressed not root for Philly in that.
I think Philly walks away.
And it's not because I don't like Baltimore, because you know me, I love Baltimore, but I would be hard-pressed not to root for Philly. I don't think Lamar Jackson's doing that great this year, though. I think he is, though. I think he's actually on pace to outdo his MVP season at this point.
That's weird. I feel like he's not having a great year.
Which I feel like his MVP season was kind of a joke, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. We're just, kind of throwing shit at the wall here and hoping it sticks, but not really. But you know what I'm saying. It's just.
He has 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions this season. That's great.
That's insane.
But he only has 3,400 yards passing.
But nobody cares. When you look at the touchdown numbers, dude, yardage is how many yards rushing, though?
I'm trying to find it. It's only giving me tossing right now. I'll look it up.
It's only giving me tossing numbers. You don't want to see them rushing numbers. I want to see them tossing numbers.
I don't know why I said tossing. Maybe like
the fact that you said those tossing, we're using that. That's it. No more passing numbers. It's tossing numbers.
my southern era.
What's his tossing stats? I want to see those. Like what, midget?
God damn, 750 yards though.
So he could very well end up with close to 1,000 yards rushing,
this dude got
3,500 yards passing for sure.
120 carries. Fuck, man.
And then look at what my chocolate stud pony's doing beside him. I mean, Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's having a phenomenal season.
Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley are the closest thing we've seen to Adrian Peterson since that 2012 season, in terms of an effective running back that is giving their team wins. You know what I'm saying? Like that is outright affecting the win-loss. I mean, Phillies won 10 straight, for Christ's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking early in the season, before they went on this 10-game winning streak, like, ooh, maybe Bill Belichick could be coaching in Philly next year. This team's kind of fucking ass.
It seemed like it.
It was going that way. Now all of a sudden we're like, ooh, shit. Like, damn. 10 straight wins? Bro, I don't remember what was the last team to win 10 straight like that?
Steelers? Patriots?
Did the Chiefs win 10 straight at any point? I don't think so.
Probably Mahomes, yeah.
I mean, I'm talking in one season. I don't want to hear this fucking like, oh, well, we ran the table from week 16 to week 10.
Not the 21 straight games thing. No, not that.
No. I know about that. Because I remember the Broncos did it in 2012. They went on that. They were, what were they, 5? No, they were 2-3, and they ran the table. Well, until the playoff game. We won 11 straight to finish out that year. In 12.
What? The Colts broke the Patriots' 21 record?
In 2009, right? Wasn't that the year they went? Because 2008 they won regular season record. I think the Patriots included the Super Bowl of the playoffs.
The Patriots included the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Colts was the regular season record. No, actually, no. The Patriots was a regular season record.
No, it included the playoffs and Super Bowl.
No, wait. It couldn't have.
It did.
It had to have.
It did. Yeah,
and then ran the table.
Yeah, and then
14-2. So that was 12.
No, I think it started in the 04 season. I think it started the 04 season.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because they started 7-0 in 04 and lost to Pittsburgh on Halloween. 7-1.
No.
So it had to have included the playoffs. Because that's where those other 3 games would come from. Because they won 12, then 15.
Patriots, no, we were both wrong. It started at the end of the 06 season, which makes no fucking sense.
No, it didn't.
Listen, this is the official record on the website. Patriots started in 06, and then it went through the 2008 season. But how the fuck? They're not including playoffs then. They're only including regular season games.
The 21-0 was 03-04. Because they started off 2-2.
No, it's saying officially it started in 06 and ended in 08. I'm telling you, I'm reading over here. The start date is December 17th, 06 against the Texans, and we lost to the Miami Dolphins 38-13 in September 21st, 2008. The Colts started in 08 and ended in 09. Patriots. Carolina Panthers have 18 straight. Bears 17. Broncos 17. Dolphins 16, undefeated season. And then Pittsburgh Steelers 16.
No, it was 03-04. It was including the Super Bowl run in 03. And then they lost at Pittsburgh on Halloween in week 8 when they were 6-0 because they had the bye.
No,
so
that's
they won
18 games.
No,
though.
they won 15 straight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they won 15 straight in 03.
Yeah.
And then they won 6 straight to start the 04 season.
But it wasn't counting that because it doesn't count playoffs. I know what you're saying.
No, the original 21-0 streak was 04. It ended in Pittsburgh on Halloween in week 7.
Yes, October 31st.
Ty Law got hurt that game, and everybody was celebrating because the Patriots' unbeaten streak was over, and Ty Law was hurt, and we were like, oh, shit, that's it. That's the end. Ty Law's hurt. How are they ever going to recover? And then here comes some fucking jackass named Asante Samuel, and everybody's like, who's this shit bum? Oh, they didn't miss a beat. Never mind.
He only played soccer his whole life.
Yeah, we should have fucking known. And then they lost one more game that year to Miami on Monday Night Football. And then they went on the run to the playoffs. They beat Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia.
You're right. It just
No, I know I'm right.
It's just
The 21 game win streak was from 03 to 04. That's the original one. I don't want to hear about this 06 to 08 regular season.
It breaks it up by it doesn't count playoffs. So technically, the regular season holder is the Colts. That's
stupid. No, the Patriots won 21 straight from week 5 of 03 through week 8 of 04.
Yes, because it would have been, like you said, Halloween.
Yes. And I remember that because I remember it like it was yesterday because that Halloween, that was the day Mike Vick and the Falcons came to Denver. The Broncos went up 14-0 in like the first half of the first quarter, and I'm like, Rod Smith, 80-yard touchdown, like shades of 1998 in the Super Bowl, and I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. And then the Falcons blew our doors off like 42 to fucking 17.
Well then, okay.
Yeah, I remember that day very well. And then Pittsburgh ended up beating New England. Ty Law got hurt. I remember thinking, like, fucking good, because fuck you guys. And then some shit, like I said, some dickbag named Asante Samuel comes in and just, whatever, bro. I'm just going to be here for the next 5 years. No big deal. 6 years, whatever.
I know.
It's going to be super nasty, too. He was never
okay.
as good. He wasn't as good as Ty Law, but
he was not as good as Ty Law.
He was pretty really fucking good.
But he got paid more money by
Philadelphia
Eagles.
Yep. That was the 2011 Dream Team.
Oh, God.
Mike Vick, Vince
Namdi
Young.
Ashlamaw
Yeah, it was
on there,
Namdi, Asante.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that team actually was, on paper, pretty absurd. But whatever. But yeah, that was that 21 game. Don't give me that bullshit. No, that 21 game win streak was 03 to 04 for the Patriots. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid fucking stat thing. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Talking about the streaks, and you said anybody else win a streak, and we went down the rabbit hole because you thought, did anybody else win 10 in a row?
The only thing I'm thinking was because, like, where did the Colts – so the Colts in 08, how many games did they win to finish that season? But it couldn't have been that. It couldn't have been anything great.
They lost right in the playoffs, though.
Yep, you're right. They lost in the wild card round to San Diego.
Yeah, they lost immediately, and then they started off the next season hot. Then they also –
Well, they went 14-0 in 09. To start the season.
Yes.
And that's when Jim Caldwell pulled all the starters against Buffalo.
They ended nine wins in a row to end that 08 season. And then they won the first 14 to start the next year. And then they fucking lost again.
And they lost the last 2.
Yep.
And Peyton was pissed. Then they went in the playoffs, kind of meandered through it, and lost to the Saints in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that fucking, what was it, Troy Porter Jr.?
Tracy Porter.
God damn it.
Denver Bronco legend, Tracy Porter.
Was he really?
Yeah. He was part of I want to say the Tebow year? Was he after? No, was he part of the Manning years?
I can't remember anymore.
It's all, yeah. Oh, I mean, the Manning year and the Tebow year are separated by 1 year, so I'd have to go back and look. But Tracy Porter was a Denver Bronco at one point.
That does sound familiar. It does sound like that was the case.
Well, it definitely was. Why don't we just do the power invested me by the
Dear Googs.
Google. Hold on, we don't use Google. Tracy Porter. Denver. 2012, Peyton's first year.
Damn. Okay. Good call.
Yeah, that 2012 team I think was the best of Peyton's Broncos teams. But anyway, so we were talking about the streaks, the regular season streaks.
Yep.
What were we talking about? We were talking about Detroit being cooked.
Detroit. We talked about a little bit about Buffalo being too reliant on Allen.
Yes, and listen, Josh Allen. I said this, I think, at the beginning of December, maybe 13, 14 days ago. Mm-hmm. The race for MVP is over. It's Josh Allen.
Oh, he has it.
Josh Allen is your NFL MVP for this year.
Are they going to pull a Manning McNair and give a co-MVP?
I don't see how they could pull that cop out.
Oh, come on, it's the NFL.
Let's see. Did I put it in my predictions? What did I have?
My MVP is fucking way off.
MVP, Trevor Lawrence. Oof.
He's dead.
Offensive Player of the Year, C-Mac. Double oof.
Well, one of those is an injury.
Defensive Player of the Year, though, I did have Pat Surtain, who I think has the third best odds or second best odds right now. You know who does have the first best odds for Defensive Player of the Year?
The guy you picked?
My guy, Nick Casabonito.
Well, I'm going to be wrong on a couple of these.
Yeah, I also had Cincy San Fran in the Super Bowl this year, so big oof.
Yeah, so did I.
Big oof. Yeah, you and I were.
No, yes, I did. Yes,
yeah,
I did.
you
yes,
and
I
I
did.
had the same thing. I don't know what Paul had, but
I don't remember what Paul
I forget
picked.
what we had for our Final Four. Do I have it listed
I have
here?
my Final Four listed right here. My Final Four were KC, Baltimore, Cincinnati, L.A. No, that's Final Four of the AFC. I fucking lied to you.
I didn't list my Final Four, but I could go back and listen to the show because I know we did it.
It's basically KC, Cincinnati against Philly, San Francisco.
I did have Bo Nix as my Offensive Rookie of the Year, too, though, so that's looking.
I had Caleb, which is a fucking nightmare. That's another topic.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's shift some gears. Let's do a little Caleb Williams and the Bears because,
God damn, man.
man, am I so glad to be right about this kid.
Oh, me too. I'm glad I was right about him as well.
So glad. Like,
I'm
I
happy with
had
Dra- I'm
this,
happy
I
with
had
Drake.
this kid on my fucking do not draft list. Fuck this guy. Not a chance in hell do I want this kid leading my franchise. And I don't, like, he's already gotten his head coach fired.
And his offensive coordinator.
His offensive coordinator, his head coach, and
Possibly the GM soon.
I'll say the GM's probably going to get fired too. So, when you draft a quarterback and then you fire the offensive coordinator, the head coach, and the GM that all allegedly wanted him,
Yes.
what does that say about your quarterback?
Unlikable. And last night, as I had to watch the game and prayed that he got 2 touchdowns so I could win my parlay, and he didn't. What was his fucking antics on the sideline where he'd go over there and look like he was having a fake seizure? Did you see that? He goes to the sideline, goes to the bench, takes his helmet off, doesn't look at any film, doesn't look at the pad, doesn't look at the tablet, doesn't look at any pictures, puts his head straight back, rolls his eyes, and it looks like he's about to kill over and fucking have a stroke. Well, what happened? What did I miss?
No, nothing. Somebody was commenting on the autococker behind me on my computer, which is the first person to ever cock me. So shout out to James in the chat. So the autococker in your wall took me all the way back, had a mini mag with a Chrome 45 splash grip on it, splash kit, all the fun stuff. I remember those. Listen, man, I was a big mini mag fan. Love mini mags. Mini mags and our mag RTs were really cool. But yes, shout out to you. Good eye, James. Good eye. Good eye
He
catching
saw a
that.
piece of it, and he's like, wait a minute.
He's like, hold up.
I don't give a
Is that what I think it is?
I don't give a shit what you're talking about, but look at that gun in the background.
It is a very fine autococker, if you will. It is only the finest. Well, I would say the finest. Some would argue that maybe second finest, but nonetheless. Sorry, I just got totally sidetracked. Oh, Caleb Williams,
Yeah, we're talking about how Caleb was.
fucking bum. So yeah, he's collapsing on the sidelines, like leaning over, doing whatever it is he's doing. Honestly, I can't for the fucking life of me figure out what anybody sees in this kid. I mean, listen, he's got all the arm talent in the world.
Is it going to have to be a Baker Mayfield situation where he gets traded around to a couple of teams before he finally gets it?
No, because I don't think he's got the same head on his shoulders that Baker Mayfield does. I think Baker Mayfield, much like Caleb Williams, ended up in a shitty spot out the gate. But Baker Mayfield was determined not to be held down. This kid, I feel like, is going to take his bag from his rookie contract and just kind of fade into obscurity.
Okay.
You know, he'll bounce around the league as a backup, and somebody will pick him up and be like, "Oh, he's a reclamation project. We can do something with him."
Like Trey Lance.
Yep. And he's like, "I just want to go cuddle my dog."
Mm.
And you're like, "All right, man." He's like, "I just want to go open up a nail salon."
He said, he seems like he can't be bothered. He seems like it's like we're always annoying him. You know what I mean?
He this is, and again, and you see this a lot in football, where these guys play it because they're good at it, but it's also their job.
They don't care.
It's like you or I can be super great at our jobs. Doesn't mean we're fucking stoked to go there every day.
Mm-mm.
You know, and this same thing happens to a lot of guys that play in the NFL. People can't comprehend that, but at the end of people have to understand this is still their job. It's not always fun. Yes, it's a game that they play, but you only see. You're not thinking about Monday through Saturday. You're only watching on Sunday. And you're thinking, this is fucking great. I could get paid millions to go fucking run around and play this game. Nah, man. Your week starts, the second that clock, that last second ticks off the fourth quarter, you got maybe a couple hours before your next week starts. your working
most
week.
guys go right on the plane and they just start watching film.
Start
for the
watching
next
film. And it's so important because this league is so competitive that it's gotten to that point. It's not like I'm not going to say it's not like it used to be because even back then it was still like that, but it is so much more advanced now. And if you are not completely immersed in this 24/7, if you're not Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, where like you absolutely love and adore the game of football, and you want to win at all costs, and you're willing to sacrifice time with your family, your social life, your hobbies, whatever it is that you might like, because a lot of these guys probably love other shit. You know, they got plenty of other stuff they'd rather be doing than fucking playing football. Like, it's not like you or I were like, even when I was playing football at a D3 level. That was a borderline full-time job. Like, I couldn't have...
Workout, study, practice, prep.
Yeah. Like, just practice alone. Again. Just practice alone after class from, like, whatever, 3 to 5. And it was, then it's like, okay, yeah, practice at 3, but you got to get in the locker room, get changed, get ready, go to the training room, get taped up, get your shit together, get on the practice field, do whatever stretching you want to do before you do, like, the group stretch. And then practice starts. And then practice is over, and it's like, okay, now I got to go hop in the ice bath, chill in there for 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Then I got to go in the locker room, take a shower, get changed, cut all the tape off me, clean my shit, get my locker room, boom, take all my shit. Dude, by the time I'm leaving practice, it's 6:30, almost 7 o'clock.
I was like, you get home, it's like 7:30.
By the time I got home, it was 8 o'clock at night. And now it's like, oh, I got class at, first class at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And it's like, well, I'm certainly not going out. I mean, back then I was because, fuck it, I was 22, 23 years old. Didn't matter. I was a fucking juggernaut. I could go on no sleep, but it didn't matter. But then, okay, do you want to, like, go out and have a social life? Or do you want to get your nose in the playbook and start getting ready for fucking Maine Maritime? You know what I mean? Are you trying to earn a starting spot here? Or are you just trying to exist? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's you need to commit full-time plus if you want the spot on the team that you're trying to get.
Yeah, and it was a full-time job. And I completely forgot. Like, didn't even mention, like, you got to go get a lift in. You know what I mean? Like, can't just go through the whole season without lifting. So, have fun with that.
And you have to make sure that you're taking the. Did you get tested? D3? You don't get tested D3.
For what?
Anything?
What do you like?
Like they drug test you? Like, well.
They could, but very rarely. If they suspected you, they could, but yeah, very rarely. But then there was there was also like optional meetings. Defensive. Like, I didn't have to deal with it too much. We didn't do too much of that on the offensive side of the ball. Like, we had our game plan. We knew what it was. Like, go figure it out. Defensive guys, they would have to do a little bit more extra. You know what I mean? They would have to go and get their lift in. Then they'd have like a half-hour meeting for the defensive lineman after practice. And you're like, damn. Like, these guys are working hard and that was a D3 level.
Right.
Never mind a pro level.
Right.
So, like, you can't compare the two. Like, it's just you've got to be fully immersed at the NFL level in order to succeed. Caleb Williams, I don't think is that. I don't think he wants to be that. I think he's learning quickly that he's not in over his head, but his arm and physical talent is only going to carry him so far. And once his brain or his mental capacity is burnt, I think that's when you'll see the wheels like fully come off the bus. And I'm not going to say he's going to be Jamarcus Russell bad.
No, he's already played better than Jamarcus Russell.
But much better. But I think he's going to be. Who's a good
Russell
comparison?
Is setting the bar so low.
I know. Could he be like because Ryan Leaf wasn't bad statistically.
No, Ryan Leaf was decent. People made believe Ryan Leaf was like one of the worst people to ever step foot in the field.
Like one of the biggest busts ever. It was like, no, it's just because he got the only reason why we even not know Ryan Leaf's name, but the only reason why we even like look at him as a boss is because it was either him or Peyton Manning. Who are you going to pick? And one turned out to be the greatest of all time, and the other guy turned out to not be so great.
I got the name.
But if Peyton Manning wasn't in the league, wasn't in that draft, nobody would remember Ryan Leaf. He'd just be like, yeah, it was just another. He'd be whoever you're going to say.
Sam Bradford.
Perfect.
Top overall pick.
Yep.
Came in. He was actually the last person to get that bullshit rookie contract. Did you get like $100 million before you even play a snap?
Mhm.
And they put a fucking end to it after him. And
Yes, because he was the 2011?
was it 09? I thought it was before the
Sorry,
Pens.
Stafford was 11,
Stafford, I think, was after him. Yes.
and Bradford was 11. No,
And
was it?
and
09 and 11 was
Bradford did basically nothing in his career. Nothing to write home about. Never had a great year. Like floated around for years as a backup. Was always hurt. It was always something going on with
Bradford
him.
was 10.
Nah, we're off. We're off. Cut in
Stafford
the middle.
was 9. Right, because then Cam Newton was 11.
Damn, getting old.
I know. We are fucking up.
Yeah, we're getting fucking old. But I don't know. I just I never start with Caleb Williams. All the talent in the world, ridiculous arm talent. Like you could see it. But right off to me, screamed like he could never be in a big market. Screamed it. Chicago's a big market.
And we said this too, and we don't know if it was true or not.
Dude, who cries to their mother in the stands after
Bro.
a game? I've never seen
But it was
shit
the-
backup players do that, much less a starting quarterback.
That was like one of the weirdest. I'm not even gonna call it a bitch move. It was just so weird, dude.
You can call it a bitch move. It's
I don't
honestly,
even think I want to call it a bitch move. I just think it was so fucking strange. Like it was just so weird to see a grown man, an adult. I mean, I get it. He wasn't. Maybe we want to call college kids and like they're kids. They're 19, 20, 21 years old. Bro, if I went and cried on my mom's shoulder at 21 years old, my friends would never let me live that down.
no, they'd be like,
Let alone if I was the leader of a fucking major conference, major powerhouse college football team.
Another thing that really pisses me off too is that people are like, oh, you can't comment on his nails, like, because what if he's gay? First of all,
That has nothing to do with
first of
being
all,
gay.
if he's
Nothing
gay,
to do with it.
I don't like. Listen, if you came out tomorrow, if
I know
Drake,
I know plenty of gay guys that don't paint their nails. So actually, the majority of them don't. So
but it doesn't matter if a player's gay. If Drake May came out tomorrow and said, I am 100% gay, I'd be like, bro, you're slinging the fucking football like crazy. You can be crazy gay orgies every weekend for all I care. You're not the problem.
yeah, are you
Gay it up.
gonna win me a Super Bowl? Great, be the gayest Super Bowl party ever.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Paint your teeth.
We
I don't
won.
fucking care.
Yeah,
But you gotta back it up. Don't be fucking weird and then be like, oh well, people make fun of me. Dude, you fucking chose that life. And like the whole thing with, oh well, he didn't grow up with friends. That he sat in the nail salon with his mom all day, and his mom practiced her techniques to make money on him, and that's why he does it for his mom. And I'm like, that's a cool story. But if he's not a fucking good player, I don't give a shit.
if he's a great player,
Doesn't mean
cool,
anything.
man.
It adds to his character.
You can rock all the painted nails and purses and wear a fucking skirt to the game. I don't give a shit.
I heard a great one this weekend. Travis Hunter's girlfriend. I do not like this woman at all. Travis Hunter's girlfriend comes across as very gold.
Cleat chasey.
Yes. And she's like, people have a bad perception about my man, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, do you know he drops me off at parties and then he doesn't go in and he sits outside for 2-3 hours in his car and he watches film on game days. And she goes, he doesn't drink, he doesn't party, he doesn't smoke. And she goes, he smokes nothing. And I was like, thank you for clarifying that. As if we thought, oh, cigarettes? Oh, you mean weed? Who says that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But the fact that if she's telling the truth,
Or
that-
maybe she was saying vapes or pens or whatever.
whatever. But the fact that if she's telling the truth, A, it makes you look horrible. That you're like, you're gonna bring me to the party anyway because I'm not gonna drive myself there. And he's like, okay. He goes, drops you off, says, have fun. I'm gonna stay in the car and watch film. Like to me, I'm like, he's dedicated. I like that mentality of like, I don't care about this stuff. I care about winning. Like to me, I'm like, I like that already. I didn't like Travis Henry as like an overall physical specimen, but that is like a winner mentality that I do like. And that's something cool that I like. That's the opposite end of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is like, don't make fun of me because I do this. Travis Hunter's like, I don't care what you think. I'm studying film.
You said Travis Henry.
Oops.
I just let you go with it because I wasn't gonna cry because I was like, who was he just talking about? Oh, Travis Hunter.
Fuck.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Too many football names in my mind. Travis Henry, what a throwback.
Deshaun Foster, baby.
I know.
Never fails.
I don't know. When you think of Travis Henry, do you think of Buffalo or Tennessee?
Buffalo.
No, I think of Tennessee first.
Buffalo for me.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Nah, it's Buffalo.
Buffalo is always Willis McGahee for me. Like if you have to think of one running back, that'd
For
be
whatever reason, Willis, I think Baltimore for like more Willis.
Do you know who I think Patriots? And I don't know why the fuck I think this with all the guys I would pick. Antoine Smith. Why the fuck do I go with Antoine Smith first? Because he won the first.
Pretty great.
He won 2.
Yeah.
But like I would think of Kevin Falk. I would think of
Patriot running backs?
yeah, like when you think
To
of a
me,
team,
it's Kevin Falk.
when you think of a team like the first running back that pops in your mind for that team, like the spokesperson for the team of like that running
Kevin
back.
Falk for the Patriots all day. Just because that guy.
Or James White, or like I get this.
But see, I think,
them.
but like Kevin Falk was just like that thorn in my balls. Because every single big game
he was always there.
that the Patriots had when he was on the team, it'd be like 3rd and 13. We need a first down.
Got it.
Oh, Kevin Falk got open. Oh, he broke a tackle. Oh, he got the extra 6 yards. Game over. Like, fuck. Like, it never failed.
Except
dude.
that one time in Indy, and Belichick's like, "You better fucking get it if we go for it."
Oh, the 4th and 2 game in 09. Yeah, that
and
was.
then you 4th and 1 yard and 11-12.
But you know what's funny is if you remember the 07 game, the Battle of the Unbeatens in 07,
Yeah.
Super Bowl 41.5.
Yep.
Kevin Falk, late touchdown to fucking put the Patriots up. Like he was the difference.
I know.
He made a big play in every single big Patriots win, I feel. Like every time the Patriots had a big game, Kevin Falk made a big play. Not scored a touchdown necessarily, but made a big play.
He was always there.
He was just Johnny on the spot, dude. Like that guy was just never he always found a way to fuck me somehow. Like I'm like, all right. Like I swear to God, dude. Like I think 4th and 2 was the only time he didn't.
You know, that's funny you do say that. I don't know. I don't want that popped in my head, but I know we're getting. I don't want to stray too far from Caleb Williams, but the Caleb Williams things, like to me, I want to say he is the next Sam Bradford. He's just not going to accomplish anything, no matter who you put him with.
Yep,
They
I
gave
agree.
him an all-star cast of wide receivers in year 1, and he's fluttering. Like he's not doing well.
And they're not winning. Like it's not like I don't know. Like I talked to a couple of I don't want to keep going back to the crew my vacation, but the nice thing about a cruise is you meet a lot of people from a lot of different places. And I did meet a couple of Bears fans, and they had nothing but good things to say about Caleb Williams. I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I think, he couldn't have gone to a worse situation, in my opinion. And then on top of that, I don't think he was very good to begin with. And
no,
I think,
he wasn't a winner in college.
No, and I think
he was a loser.
I mean, again, I had him on my do not draft list, and they're like, nah, it's the coach, it's the coordinators, it's the O line, it's
I
this.
had him third.
And I'm like, I hear you, and I hear what you're saying. However, you're gonna be wrong in 2 years. Like it's not because you're gonna go through it. You're gonna get a different head coach. You're gonna get a different coordinator. You're gonna get different pieces. Put them around him, and yeah, maybe he'll have a couple upticks here and there, and they'll be like, oh, here he goes. We're finally doing it. But at the end of the day, it's just gonna be the same old fucking shit mediocrity that's always encapsulates Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just that's how they are. That's where they do. They can't find. Jay Cutler is your fucking franchise quarterback in the modern era. Let's think about that. And now you know what a huge Jay Cuddles fan I am.
And they jettisoned that dude out of there too.
They couldn't like get rid of him fast enough. You know, they were like they went to one fucking NFC championship. Caleb Heaney comes in and can't beat Aaron Rodgers because BJ Raji was just like, give it to me, Raji. And the Packers, who were far and away, in my opinion, the best team that year, got to the Super Bowl and won it. And they were like, Jay Cutler's fucking trash. Fuck him. He quit on us. It's like, bro, he tore his ACL.
And
then instead of like going in the locker room and like just pouting, like he came back out on the sidelines and sat there and like, you're good enough to sit on the sidelines. You're good enough to play. It's like, no, I don't, that's actually not how that works at all. Like, not at all. Like,
wasn't that where the smoking meme came from? Like he went back on the sideline, like lit up a cigarette, and just stood in the sideline and smoked. And
no,
watched the
I think
game.
that came a couple years later. I was like 20. I want to say like 11 or 12.
Post game press conference.
13 maybe.
People put like a
Smoking Jay Cutler. No, just because he always just looked like he didn't give a fuck.
Wait, that's his.
And like the only thing that would make him like look like it'd be like if he could not give a fuck more is if he just had a fucking cigarette in his mouth.
It just his demeanor, though. It's
Yeah.
always been his demeanor.
Always. And I loved it. I love Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was one of my favorites. I thought he got done dirty by the Denver organization. You know, I think Pat Bowlen fucked that one up. One of Pat Bowlen's few fumbles in his career. But it is what it is.
Josh McDaniels. It's funny how his name is popping up a lot more again recently.
It should never pop up again, to be quite honest.
No, it's popping up for
Any team that's actually
for my
serious.
team again. I'm ready to just jump off a cliff. I'm not even joking. If we somehow,
if he somehow went back to New England,
I would die. I don't think my life could get worse. Like as a Patriots fan,
bro.
You ever see the gif of the fucking kid that holds onto the merry-go-round and is passed out,
Yes.
and the merry-go-round's just dragging him? That would be me as a Patriots fan, just being drugged through the mud. I don't know how much worse I can get. People forget how bad Josh McDaniels was at the end. They just don't know or don't care. They just sucked the whole time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I that's a whole nother issue.
Is this thing on?
Was someone texting you?
Okay, yeah, no, it is. I'm just making sure this thing still gets service. It's all. I haven't checked it. It's like it's not ringing like when it doesn't move. So anyway, 774-992-8702. If you want to give us a call, give us a call. Pretty sure the phone works.
If it doesn't, text us. Text
But
us your
if it doesn't,
messages.
if it doesn't work, just
Put it in
text.
the chat.
Yeah,
We
throw it
don't
in the
care.
chat and say, "Hey, I tried to call, it didn't work." So we hit Caleb Williams, we hit Detroit, we hit the. Who do you think is going to win the NFC North? I think it's going to be Minnesota. I'm sorry, Detroit. I think is still.
I'm
gonna hold on to win.
still gonna say Detroit is still gonna win it.
And then I think
The most important is the NFC South.
But I think Minnesota's tied now with Detroit. I don't know if Detroit. Let's see what's Detroit's schedule look like. They're at Chicago, at San Francisco, and they have Week 18 against the Vikings. That is perfect. Perfect. Minnie's got the Seahawks, the Packers, and then they're at the Lions. So, for all intents and purposes, Week 18 for the NFC North could come down to that Detroit-Minnesota game, which I think would be absolutely fucking phenomenal. I would love to see the Vikings win that division. Not because I'm a Detroit hater, not even close. I just don't think Detroit is built to. I don't think they're
there's
capable
too
of
many
winning it.
injuries.
I don't think they can do it, Sean. I just don't think they can do it.
But how do you feel about the NFC South potentially might have a below 500 champion?
Love it. As long as it's Brother Baker and the touchdown maker.
Well, they're in the lead.
That's who I think. Did I pick them to win?
I picked New Orleans, and New Orleans is fading fast. They haven't won in weeks.
No, they haven't. They suck.
The Panthers, I'm still shocked they even won 3 games.
Oh no, I picked Atlanta. That's right.
Dude, Atlanta was the leader.
Yep, I had Atlanta, Tampa, then New Orleans.
Well, they're going to put in Penix. They're going to say Penix is going to lead us to.
Yes. So breaking news before we came on the show. For those of you that didn't know, the mighty Penix Laser is starting at quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons this week.
If you are Arthur Blank, how fucking mad at you at your GM for giving
Pretty fucking mad.
giving $180 million to Kirk Cousins,
How can you not be mad?
then in the first round trading up to draft a quarterback, then after 14 weeks saying we're going to go to the quarterback that we drafted and not the $180 million quarterback.
Bananas.
That team is another disorganized mess.
100%. They are one. I mean, listen. Everybody likes to joke around and be like, "Oh, Bill Belichick couldn't even get a job with the Atlanta Falcons." Wrong. Bill Belichick turned down the Atlanta Falcons. Don't get it twisted.
I don't like all these new reports either coming out saying, like, we can talk about the Belichick thing coming up next if you want to, about Belichick was asking for a job at all these teams and they all turned him down.
No, it wasn't.
I'm like, I can't picture that happening.
No.
That's all fake shit.
Bill Belichick begging for a job in the NFL is laughable.
Him going
With
to
the amount of incompetence that has permeated the head coaching ranks in the NFL, and you think the greatest coach of all time in any sport had to go around and beg for a job?
Yes.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Well, it made sense why he went to – because at first when he says Belichick to UNC, I was like, this makes no sense to me. And then you see he basically was given, you could do whatever you want with the entire program
Carte blanche.
for as long as you want. And he's like, I'm in. The only thing that bothers me is that he's not going to get the NFL head coaching record for most wins. That sucks.
I did want to see him pass Shula for that.
Because Shula's
But
kind of a
also,
dickbag.
I kind of like the fact I almost feel like he's doing it like as a
Okay.
fuck you.
Yeah, like,
Because he's like, I could if I wanted to, but you know what I'd rather do? Add a national championship to my record. to my resume.
I still think the Giants would have called him absolutely because
But again, I think
they're gonna fire Dayball. You know they are.
I think he had too much respect for Dayball to step into his old shoes and do that.
Okay, because Dayball worked for him for years.
Yeah,
too.
I don't think he was going to do that.
I would take Dayball on the Patriots.
Because again, look around, and all right. So let's do the Bill Belichick thing, because this was the biggest news of the week. I mean, this came out of left field. You and I didn't have this on our radar at all.
No,
and we're usually pretty like thumb to the pulse of what's going on. We had heard rumblings of Belichick to college, but not to Carolina of all places. So this one came out of absolute left field. It took me by surprise. I didn't see this one coming at all. I actually kind of fucking dig this move in a lot of ways because even Bill said it on the Pat McAfee show yesterday.
It's a win-win for him.
But the landscape of college football is changing. Okay? Can you imagine how easy it's going to be for Bill Belichick to coach and scheme up pro-style defenses in college compared to what it's going to be like in the pros? Because the level, like, the gap between, let's say, Oregon this year and UNC with the transfer portal and NIL, that gap is going to close so fast. And what do we always say about football? Coaching matters more than any other sport. And now you have the greatest football coaching mind in the history of the sport coming to run your organization.
Devin,
and he's going to piece together a team down there, a coaching team. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see, like, Nick Saban come on as, like, a defensive fucking assistant or something.
Well, he already brought in his boy Mike Lombardi.
Well, Mike Lombardi's
like a front
there.
Office guy.
And who else did he bring in, too? He brought in somebody else.
Oh, there's more coming.
And there's tons more.
So someone, I think
more.
it was Devin McCourty or maybe it was Jason McCourty. It was one of the McCourty twins was talking with Rodney Harrison, and it was on a pregame thing this week. And they said every ex-NFL player who has a kid in college is telling their kid, you got to transfer to North Carolina.
Yep.
Because Belichick said it perfectly. It is going to be a pro system directly to the NFL.
It is going to be.
That's all he cares about.
It is a pro prep school now.
Yes.
Yep.
And they said, you can go to any other school. You can go to Florida. You can get all these schools. You can go with the women. Or do you want to go play for the greatest defensive coach of all time in North Carolina? And he's going to prep you to play the game to make millions and set you up for life.
And not only are you going to get prepped to play for millions in the league, but you're going to be able to use your own likeness if you're good enough to make your own millions while you're there. And Bill even said that in his press in his interview on the McAfee show. He said, "I think it's great that these kids are finally being able to be compensated properly."
Man, what if I don't think this is going to happen? Would Arch Manning transfer to go play 1 year at North Carolina with Belichick?
No, I don't think so.
What if though?
Because
remember that list I sent you of all the former ex-players?
Yep.
Because kids.
But Arch Manning, like, listen, if Arch Manning was coming out of high school, maybe. I think this changes everything.
Oh, for sure.
But Arch Manning's already pretty well, like, he's established. He's the starter at Texas. Sarkisian's got a good system. That's a good program. Belichick's team, like, it's not going to be, it's not like he's Dion going to Colorado and building up the Buffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think UNC is going to get built up a lot quicker, a lot faster than Colorado has.
Right.
But for Arch Manning, I think it just makes more sense to stay where he's at. Like, he's going number one overall when he comes out, regardless. Like, he's going wherever he wants. So that doesn't really affect him. You know what I'm saying? But if you're, like I say, if you're like you said, you're some random kid and you're like, dude, do you want to get in the pipeline of the NFL? This is where you're going then. UNC is where it's at. Sure, like you said, you can go play it, go play for Miami or the Gators or, USC or whatever. That's fine. Go do you, man. Like, that's all fine and well. However, if you want to be as pro-ready as you're going to ever be, potentially, then you go to UNC. And that's not just saying, like, pro-ready either. Like, to be a player, you can go to UNC as a player, learn under those coaches, and decide, hey, you know what? Maybe the coaching route is better for me. And then you come up, you coach under Bill Belichick for a couple years. And then next thing you know, you're doing your thing that way. I don't know. I think there's a shit ton of opportunity coming. Like, with Bill Belichick going to University of North Carolina, I think this is one of the most nuclear moves we've seen in sports
I think
in a long time.
I think it might be you might see a lot of crazy transfers happen to North Carolina.
100%.
Like,
Bill Belichick's going to have his pick of the litter, but it's going to be between him and Dion.
well, Dion apparently is going to the NFL. That's another rumor.
Well, that's been rumored, and we'll see what happens in the spring.
He's like, yo, I'm going to go to Vegas with my son, Shadow.
And honestly, as a Broncos fan, I would love to see Dion and Shador go to Vegas.
I fucking hate that.
I would love.
I think that is.
I would love to see it. I have not seen anything out of Shador Sanders that says he's pro ready, or that he's an NFL caliber quarterback. Period.
At all.
So if the Raiders want to take him number 1 overall or whatever it is they're drafting, you have my full endorsement. Please do. But Bill to UNC is fucking awesome. The only thing that fucking sucks about this is it's going to ruin my Manning cast next year.
It will ruin your Manning cast, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
We knew it was short-lived.
But it's going to take away from my Manning cast because I loved watching Bill, Eli, and Peyton talk about football because that was just football for football nerds through and through, and it was the best. Not having Bill on there is going to take a little bit away from it.
Yeah, it will. It'll suck.
They're going to have to find they're going to have to bring in Gruden or something.
Dude, what about see Manning? He went to Eli, of course. He went to a Giants practice because they just invited him. And he fucking threw a 57-yard bomb that knocked over 3 pins in the end zone, and he was the only guy to do it. Even their current roster of guys could not do it. And Manning one throw did it, and he's like, ah!
He's Eli, bro. You know, Eli gets down like that.
But it's just and Giants fans in the comments, bring him back.
Yeah,
Immediately.
Like, Jesus Christ, we've seen enough.
They're like, Daniel Jones retired on us.
We're so sorry we got so sick of you so quick. It's like, well, yeah, duh. Do you guys really think, I don't want to say as bad as Eli Manning was because Eli Manning wasn't bad ever. But did you really think, quarterbacks just grew on trees? Do you not look around the league and realize that, more than 2/3 of the league at any given moment is looking for their quarterback for next year? Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins just got paid all that money in Atlanta, and he's getting benched for a guy they took in the first round who probably had a second-round grade on him, but the Falcons were like, he's the best on our board. Take him. I know we just signed Kirky for $180 million or whatever it was.
They traded up for Penix. They traded up to get him.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They wasted so much resources on quarterbacks this year. And the Falcons won on Monday. They won last night. I mean, can we say that was because of Kirk Cousins?
Was that a real win? You see Desmond Ridder play?
Yeah, it was awful.
Desmond Ridder looks like someone that's recovering from cerebral palsy or something.
It was pretty bad.
The way he threw. He threw. I saw Brock. Brock, by the way, amazing. I've been in love with this kid. I've been in love with this kid before the draft, and I was like, he's my number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't get Drake, Drake was my number 1 overall pick, but I was like, Brock Bowers is my favorite.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's lived up to it in the NFL, even on the worst team with no quarterback.
I mean, low key, bro, he could very well, and I'm not even saying this
he's not a quarterback.
I know, but he could very well be Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Nah.
If the Raiders had been anything even remotely decent offensively,
yeah.
I think he broke the record for most receptions for a rookie.
For a tight end, yes.
For a tight end, he's gonna break he definitely broke the yardage record.
He might actually break the wide receiver record for rookie.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna break, I think, rookie wide receiver records.
Which is insane.
As a tight end and as the only option on a team that's started 3 different quarterbacks this year.
Yeah.
Or 2.
But it was definitely up and in. Desmond Ridder throws a post route fake to the end zone. You see Brock go, look straight up to the sky where the fuck is that to? Nobody was in the field, and I'm like, Desmond Ridder is just, I don't know. I don't understand how that guy...
It was the Falcons' revenge game.
It was, yeah. He was something, all right.
He was. But, no, I feel like Bowers could very much make a, if you're going to talk about offensive rookies of the year, I mean, he's definitely the number 1 non-quarterback. That's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
It's between him, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix, really.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix did himself no favors Sunday, with his 3 interception game against the Colts, even though he did have, come back with, 3 touchdowns.
He's a rookie, and he's played above expectations. I can't really shit on anything he's doing.
Well, but you have to remember how the Offensive Rookie of the Year thing works, okay? Everyone is still playing the highlight of Jaden Daniels' Hail Mary against Pittsburgh. He basically won Offensive Rookie of the Year with that throw. Let's be honest, it doesn't matter what happens. He's in a major market in Washington.
Yes, he is.
He plays in the NFC East.
Yes.
Bo Nix plays in Denver.
Yes.
And unless Bo Nix completely, blows him out of the water with by 10 touchdowns at the end of the year, nobody's going to care.
What is Jaden's stats? Because Jaden started off red hot.
Then he got the rib injury.
Yeah,
he cooled off with the rib injury.
Because why? Because he's tiny.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago, which is why we had him 3 on our list and not 1.
No, I had him 1 and 2. I had Jaden Daniels. I said him and Drake 1 and 2.
No, I had Bo, Drake, then Jaden.
Yeah, you like the Bo, and I was like, you're fucking weird.
Am I though?
And I was wrong. So
am I?
He's really cooled off. He's 17 and 6, 17 touchdowns, 6 picks. He just passed 3,000 yards passing. So he's really cooled off since that hot start.
Bo's not doing much better, though.
Yeah, he's really not doing well. He's really cooled off.
Bo is at 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, with 2,972 passing yards.
Yeah, but Bo hasn't started every game, dude.
Yeah, he has.
Bo started every single. Oh, he did
14
start
for
the
14,
season. You're
yeah.
right. You know,
if the stats are close, it will go to the guy that plays in the NFC East or the Pittsburgh Steelers every fucking time. That is just how it works.
They're going to hold his interceptions more weight against Knicks than they will Daniels.
100%. Because Knicks didn't have the Hail Mary against Pittsburgh. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have 2 sweetheart teams that the media absolutely loves and fawns over. And that's just how the voting goes.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like, you're never going to be a guy in Denver. Like, the East Coast bias is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is.
It is real.
So you just have to deal with it. You know, there's a reason why Jason Taylor won Defensive Player of the Year in 2006 over Champ Bailey, which was one of the more that was like between that and Steve Nash over Kobe twice. Like, take your pick for which one was a bigger robbery. Like, it was insane. Like, Jason Taylor had 13.5 sacks that year, I think.
Is that the one we talked about a few weeks ago too? And I didn't even realize it. I was like, wow, I thought Jason Taylor had more that year.
Yeah, it was. We definitely talked about it a couple weeks ago. But I think it was. I just want to see 2006. Yeah, 13.5 sacks.
Damn.
Champ Bailey had, I think, 11 interceptions that year, or 10 interceptions, including 2 pick sixes.
Did he really? Yes, you told me that. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
One against Arizona and one against San Francisco in Week 17.
Dude, I legit laughed. I was, I think I was at the bar of the hotel on Sunday when I was watching the highlights of the Denver game, and I just saw, oh, they're going to go the double flea flicker. And you see Denver, yoink. And he just runs right to the end zone. I was like, ha, ha, ha. And then all the Colts players were like, nah, he's gone. Like, they did not. I think one guy attempted it, and he was like, meh.
Shucks. Well, I'm not tearing a hamstring on this one. No, but that, and again, and speaking of Defensive Players of the Year, and let's shift gears to my Broncos and the Colts here. Listen, I thought we should have blown the Colts out coming off a bye. I don't think this game on the scoreboard, 31-13.
It looked like a blowout. But
like a blowout, but if you watch that game, listen.
It did not feel like that.
Denver was down a good majority of that game, and they could not stop Jonathan Taylor, and they could not really get the Colts off the field on third down.
Right.
The second half was a bit of a different story. Much different story, defensively for the Broncos anyway. Mm-hmm. The only run that the Colts really had success on was the one where Jonathan Taylor inexplicably drops the ball before the goal line.
How many times do we have to say this story every year? Every year.
This is the second time we've seen it this year.
And how many times have we seen it overall? 20? It's happened constantly.
Deshaun Jackson, off the top of my head, Deshaun Jackson
was probably the first
one, his rookie year in 08.
And he's just like,
against Dallas.
Oh, there's a media member who wants to abolish that rule going forward this offseason.
Oh, well, because if you have a clear path to the end zone, who cares?
If he drops it, who cares? Count it as a touchdown.
No. Hold on to the fucking ball, dickhead.
Why can't you hold on to it to pass the line? That's been the rule forever.
Yeah. No, that one media member got, whoever that was, I saw that thread, he got dragged.
I hope so.
I mean, dragged on Twitter. Because that is the dumbest fucking shit ever. It's like, oh, well, whatever. Like, you got a clear path to the end zone. Why do you even have to run to the end zone? You know, if it's a busted coverage and there's nobody behind you, why do you even have to run?
Mm-hmm.
Then don't even bother. Like, who cares? Like, why do we even have to do half the shit that we do?
Right.
You know, oh, he was, he got tackled, but, he rolled over the tops of a couple of defenders and was never actually down by contact. But, like, he was down. He was tackled. No, he wasn't. So, no, fuck you with that rule.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid.
That soy boy piece of shit can go fuck himself, whoever that was. But let's take a look at this for those that didn't see it.
You have the video?
Yeah,
Okay,
this is the Jonathan Taylor touchdown that wasn't. This would have put the Colts up 20-13.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. This would have been 20-7. So a 20-7 lead for the Colts.
And we've seen this happen more than once this year. The player's not breaking the plane of the goal line. The ball comes loose. We see him let it go before it breaks the plane. We have a fumble in the field of play, and we all know now that a fumble in the field of play rolling through the end zone, out of the end zone, the result is a touchback. We clearly see him dropping the football before it breaks the plane of the goal line.
Gee, just unreal.
I still don't understand how this happens in today's game. Like, if I was the head coach, honestly, I don't care. And listen, Jonathan Taylor is one of the smartest, best players on that Colts team. I'm sorry, you're back. Take a seat.
Rest of the game,
Like,
easily.
Not only in this particular situation, you're on the road. You've got the Broncos kind of on the road. It's 13-7 game. You break a big run. You put this team up 20-7. Now you got the Broncos' backs against the wall with 14 minutes to go, or 16 minutes to go, whatever it was. Not only did you cost your team a chance ultimately to win that game, you removed yourself from playoff contention,
Right.
by dropping that ball before the goal line. That is the most egregious fuck up, or the most costly example we will ever see of that. Like, they asked Sean Payton after the game, like, hey, are you going to use that as like a teachable moment for your guys? And he was like, fuck no. He goes, any of my guys do that, they'll be flying commercial home. It'll be your last game as a Denver Bronco.
No kidding. It's
like,
it's
if that was me, dog, I'm sorry. Like, Jonathan Taylor, you're cut. You're at least benched for the season.
Yeah, no, you got to bench him at least that game.
Yeah, no. Like,
You
yeah.
can't cut Jonathan Taylor.
Well, I mean, you can't because contractually you'd be fucked. But
Yes.
you're benched for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, dude. Like, that shit, like, you literally just cost us a chance in the playoffs because you couldn't be bothered. You wanted to look that cool and get into your little celebration dance that quick.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to make it about you just that much quicker that you couldn't be bothered to take the ball across the goal line in a game that we know is fucking hyper, like, micromanaged. I'm sorry, like, that is inexcusable to me.
No shit, exactly.
And I've said it before, if I was the head coach of that team, you'd be benched for the rest. I don't care if you're my fucking number one player. You're benched for the rest of the year. Just to send a message. That shit cannot be tolerated. That cost the Colts. You were going to be up 20-7. Now, did the Broncos shut the Colts out from that point forward? Yes. Did they end up scoring 31 points? Also, yes. So, would it have mattered at the end of the day? Maybe. Maybe. Circumstances bring different outcomes. We all know that. Did it guarantee the Colts a victory? No, of course not. Would it put them a lot closer? Yeah. Yeah, your odds of holding on to a 13-point lead in the fourth quarter are a lot better on the road than you are being up 6. So, and then Denver just kind of hit the gas on them, and you had that the trick play that Nick Bonito, which actually ultimately does not go down as a pick six. it's a fumble because it's a backwards pass. So it goes down as a fumble recovery for
Really?
Yeah, it goes down as a fumble recovery. So Nick Bonito now has a fumble recovery for a touchdown, interception for a touchdown, and he's second in the league in sacks with 10.5. And TJ Watt might be out for the next 3 weeks. So is Nick Bonito now very much in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year?
Probably.
Absolutely. And I listened to a couple of people that said, they're like, no, he's not even the best defensive player on the Broncos. And I'm like, fair enough. But is he having a better season than Patrick Surtain? Statistically speaking, for corners, it's very hard to win that award.
Yes.
If Champ Bailey couldn't win it.
Unless you're Stephon Gilmore.
Unless you're Stephon Gilmore, and they're just like, we got nothing. There's nobody else here. We got nobody. But the only other guy to ever do what Nick Bonito has done is J.J. Watt.
Yes.
To have 2 pick sixes or 2 recoveries for a pick six and a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Special play.
And double-digit sacks. The only other guy to ever do it was J.J. Watt, and he won Defensive Player of the Year both times he did it.
Yes, he did.
So I'm not saying we, give Nick Bonito Defensive Player of the Year right now. But if he goes off and gets another 5 or 6 sacks and he finishes with 15+ sacks, maybe another fumble recovery or 2, a strip sack here or whatever.
And he's not someone they talk about a lot. He doesn't get national coverage. He doesn't get almost any coverage.
Because he's in Denver. Dude, we don't even get nationally televised games.
No.
Although we will now because we got flexed from Sunday to Thursday against the Chargers. So let's say hypothetically Casa Bonito takes one, goes off for another sack and a half. The Broncos beat the Chargers. Okay, boom. There you go. He's got 12 sacks on the season.
Oh, he needs to have a sack dance. That's what it was.
Then the Broncos got flexed from the following Sunday to the Saturday spot against the Bengals.
Oh my God!
Which really just sears my Nesmans
for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Because now I'm having to now it's like, all right, come on, dude. Like, now I got to adjust my work schedule to watch the Broncos. Like, I'm gonna miss Thursday because I don't have a choice.
Yeah, no shit.
I got to work. I'm backed into a corner here.
That's kind of bullshit. They do that stuff all the time.
And then we get flexed from Sunday to Saturday against the Bengals, which not for nothing. Joe Burrow's been very gettable this year. I'm still not thrilled about having to play them in a must-win.
Joe Burrow. Phenomenal. Joe Burrow also very vocal lip reading on the sideline of what he's saying. We fucking suck this year.
Yeah.
Flat out. Mm-hmm. And then Zach Taylor was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. He's like, fuck that. He goes, we should have beat these guys by fucking 80. I'm like, clear as day. And then people are saying, oh, he's saying they're 6-8. He was saying their record. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure he was saying we should have beat the Titans by 80.
I underestimated how bad their defense was going to be.
I underestimated how bad the offense, besides Burrow, Chase, and T. Higgins, was going to be.
Isn't Burrow leading the league in touchdowns?
Yeah, I think so.
And Chase, aren't they leading the league in touchdowns in their respective categories?
They're an unbelievable tandem.
It's insane. But the thing is, so the only good thing that Nick Bonito has going for him, and the reason why I'm harping on Nick Bonito for Defensive Player of the Year is because I may or may not have threw $9 on him to win Defensive Player of the Year like 4 weeks ago when he was plus 30,000, and now I think he's 4th best odds to win Defensive Player of the Year.
It sounds like it's going to happen.
Or he's either 4th or 3rd best odds to win Defensive Player of the Year. So if Nick Bonito goes off in these next 2 games that are primetime games and has himself a couple sacks and does some big things, which I have no reason to believe he's not going to,
right?
That could get him the national credit that he needs to win me $2,700 on a $9 bet. Which, coupled with my Denver over/under 9.5, they need one more win.
Well,
for me to hit
you've been
that.
saying that since the preseason. You're like, Denver's going to win 10 games this year. And I was like, I think that's tough. I was like, I think they're a year early. And you're like, I'm telling you, like, it's time. Like, it's going to happen.
It wasn't time. I looked at the schedule and I liked the way it was, and I believed in Bo Nix.
Right.
And I believed in Sean Payton. Now, I'm going to be completely blunt about the Broncos, okay? Mm-hmm. The Broncos are, at best, a wild card weekend spoiler team. I think that's their ceiling. They're not going into, and that depends on the matchup. Mm-hmm. because the way it works now, if we're the 7 seed and Buffalo's the 2, we ain't spoiling shit in Buffalo. Sorry.
Right.
Like, as much as I would love to go in and ruin Buffalo's parade, not going to happen. Baltimore, same thing. Those 2 teams are just better than us. If we can catch Kansas City only, and I say Kansas City only because I know that they're not afraid of them.
Okay.
They were like, no, we had you beat in Kansas City already this year. And that horseshoe that we talked about earlier in the show
Yep.
did what it was supposed to.
Yep.
They're probably going to beat Kansas City week 18
Okay.
because Kansas, who knows? Like, who knows what either team's going to be playing for at that point. But regardless, they're not afraid of Kansas City. So if we had to go into Arrowhead Wild Card Weekend, I'm not tremendously scared of that.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, not tremendously scared of that. Houston, not scared at all. So those 3 teams, I feel like we could go in and kind of fuck up their postseason and be like, ha-ha.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about Baltimore and Buffalo, chill now. Like, we ain't that good. Like, we're just not there yet.
Yeah.
And honestly, but the thing is like, those are the only 2 teams I feel like in the AFC that I'm like, they're head and shoulders better than us. They're a different class than us.
Yeah.
Because we're also carrying $86 million in dead cap because of the Russell Wilson deal.
Yep.
We just got we had no draft capital last year. You know what I mean? Like, we had no ability to go out and sign anybody or do anything. So we're kind of running on, the Broncos are a thin team right now. They're thin. Their starters are good. The offenses look good at times. They can't really run the ball, though. Defensively, I think, we saw how much the Riley Moss injury impacted us. You know what I mean? We can get over it, but it's not great.
Right.
So they don't have a lot of depth. And if one or 2 things go wrong, we saw it with the Baltimore game earlier this year. Baltimore just imposed their will on Denver. They did what they wanted to. My chocolate stud pony did what he wanted to. And we couldn't really stop them. We couldn't get anything going offensively. And it got out of hand quick.
Right.
That's kind of where we're at, right? Denver could they beat them in a match? I mean, of course, it's the NFL. Anything hypothetically can happen.
Any given Sunday, obviously. But anything can happen.
But to have any given Sunday happen 4 Sundays in a row?
Nah.
Come on. Like, you're pushing it. Like, we ain't got Tim Tebow, right? Unless Tebow shows up on the sidelines, we ain't doing that. So I think Denver could go in, depending on the matchup, wild card weekend, steal a game wild card weekend. They'll probably get beat the divisional round by Baltimore or Buffalo, but again, it depends on the seeding and how the matchups are going to go.
Right.
Could they wind up lucky divisional round weekend and catch somebody napping? Sure. And end up in an AFC championship, but come on, let's be real. They're probably going to have to go somewhere they don't want to go. Wild card weekend. It's going to be a tough road game. Probably not going to win it. You got a puncher's chance. If it's Houston or Pittsburgh, I feel pretty okay about it. Kansas City, puncher's chance because I think, again, we're not afraid of them.
Yeah.
Buffalo, Baltimore, no chance. No, that's like, okay. Listen, we overachieved already this year. So if we hit 10 games, 10 wins and make the playoffs, nobody had the Broncos doing that this year. Outside of me.
No. Outside of you, no. Nobody else had the Broncos anywhere close to 10 wins. So this is like a very much still a surprise team to most of America.
Considering most of us had Jacksonville and the Jets in the playoffs.
I did not have the Jets.
You and I did not.
Jacksonville, I think I had Jacksonville missing.
I think I did have them winning the division. So.
Oh, I did pick Jacksonville to win the division. You're right. I did them too. I had them 10-7. Wow, was that fucking wrong?
I don't remember what the record was. I didn't do the records. I got to do the records next year.
God damn.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to print out little sheets for us so we can fill them out.
Okay.
I
like that. I thought Houston was going to have a bigger drop-off this year. No, I was wrong.
I didn't think Houston was going to have a big drop-off, but I felt like they'd come back down to earth a little bit. I think they have, especially defensively. I think they've taken a little bit of a step back. Like, they're not Houston didn't build off of last year. I think they kind of just stayed the same.
Right.
And my philosophy in the NFL, if you're not getting better or if
you're not getting better, you're getting
worse. And if staying the same is not getting better. So I feel like that's kind of where Houston, I think, like, again, like, I would love a Denver-Houston wild card game. As a Denver fan.
That would give you the best bet because the team, I mean, Nico Collins plays well. C.J. Stroud is still playing well. Joe Mixon is doing really well there. But
Joe Mixon would actually be the guy that would worry me the most because we have struggled to stop good running backs this year.
okay.
As good as our defense has been,
Is it a line thing or is it a...
I think it's just been kind of like a early on in the game, Denver's defense has got,
Yeah.
and then they tighten up, which has been, I feel like even the 2015 season, they did that a lot. Like those, because those first 15 plays, those are your best 15 plays that you're getting.
Yep.
And I would love to see the defense come out and kind of like get on top of that a little bit. But they usually tighten up in the second half, and they become very opportunistic.
Gotcha.
But if you can get, if C.J. Stroud and Joe Mixon can get going, that could be a problem. Because C.J. Stroud's a tough guy to bring down. He's a tough guy to get to. And, again, our depth on defense, if Riley Moss, assuming everybody's 100%, I like our matchups. Riley Moss and PS2 on Tank Dell and Nico Collins. But, damn, man, like, that'd just be – I think Houston's a winnable game for Denver on the road in the playoffs. I think Pittsburgh's a winnable game for them. And, again, Kansas City puncher's chance because division rival, not afraid. So –
I don't know. I still don't picture Kansas City. I
think Kansas City's going to ultimately get got.
I don't think Kansas City makes Super Bowl this year. I think they falter in the playoffs.
They bow out if they end up with a first round bye. Or regardless, I think they bow out in the second round. I think that if they get the first round bye, they'll be one and done. If not, they'll be 1-1, depending on who they match up with.
And I still think Buffalo is Buffalo, and they fuck up in the playoffs anyway. Or if someone stops...
Unfortunately, like that Baltimore-Philly Super Bowl that we kind of alluded to earlier, I feel like the more I think about it, the more that makes the most sense.
You know why?
Because those, I think, are the most complete teams.
I think Buffalo would have a really hard time playing the Steelers in the playoffs. Because if TJ Watt is healthy. Because I think the Steelers have a good enough defense to stop or slow down Josh Allen. And then I just don't think Buffalo's defense can do much of anything.
Does Buffalo really run the ball that well either?
No, they have fucking, what's his name?
I don't think they really run well. They don't run well. Their defense is very patchwork.
Yeah, they had fucking
It
Josh.
works, but it's not great.
They had DeMar Hamlin starting games again.
Listen, I don't think outside, like, if you put any other quarterback on the Buffalo Bills, I'm dismissing them as an early out in the playoffs.
They're like the Patriots. They suck.
Yeah, we're just like, nah, no way. But because they have Josh Allen, you're like, fuck, like, he is literally, in the words of Adam Shine, Paul Bunyan meets John Elway.
What about Tua? Like, speaking of like great quarterbacks, what about Tua playing his absolute best?
Can we fuck off with the Miami meme already?
Which one?
McDaniel, like this whole Miami thing, like this shit's gotta stop, dude. Miami's just become, and how do I say that? Because I love Tua, and I think Tua's great. But Mike McDaniel's got to go.
Oh yeah.
He has got to go, bro.
They fucked up letting go of Flores.
If they were smart, they would get rid of McDaniel and bring in Mike Vrabel.
Oh, I would hate that.
But then again, I don't think. I don't
that.
think Miami's ownership. I don't think they know enough or are smart enough to do that.
No, they went offense. And what happened with the Odell situation? Why did he just get cut randomly? I know he's ass.
Well, probably because he sucks. They probably need a roster spot.
And he was probably
to bring somebody up off the practice squad because they need something. I don't know. Maybe Olindo Mare's kid's fucking old enough to start kicking again. I don't know. And they're like, well,
but he was probably a diva anyway.
We need a backup punter, so see you later.
Do they still have what's his face? The guy from the Steelers that was Showboat. Remember the guy from the Steelers? He was like Showboat and he held the ball too long when they were trying to kneel it.
Oh, Claypool.
They still have
Chase Claypool. Do they have Chase? I don't know where Chase ended up.
It was with the Dolphins.
I had really high hopes for him.
Dude, everyone did.
I had real high hopes for Chase Claypool.
And he was just an asshole at the end. He didn't do anything.
When he got up and he did the first down thing when they're trying to clock it.
Trying to rip the ball from his hand.
Yeah. And he's like, what are you fucking doing? He's like, what? And got in his face about it and was like, what are you doing? What do you mean? dickhead. Like, we got a game to win here. Cool
Like
first down.
11-6.
Cool first down catch, asshole. The clock doesn't stop. It's the NFL. No, I don't know what happened there. I thought he went. Where did he?
Tell you right now.
Did he go to Chicago?
No, he's already gone from Chicago.
Right, he went to Chicago.
Chicago had him first.
That's what it was. Chicago had him. Then he went to Miami.
Yes. He's with the Buffalo Bills right now.
Oh, okay.
He's inactive every week.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he turned into kind of a clown. That's too bad because I liked him. I had high hopes for him.
Wow, he's only 26. He just turned 26.
Yeah, he's young, dude, and he's a big dude. He's like 6'5", like big boy. Like that kid.
6'4", 240.
Oh, okay, 6'4", 240.
That's a big dude, but
Just trying to think what else. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah. So, and on the same point, we were talking about Miami, the Niners, dude. I mean, let's just talk about the fucking. So let's talk about the NFC West real quick.
If Mike Shanahan somehow gets fired,
he won't.
I will drive Mike Shanahan. Fucking hell, Sean. Kyle Shanahan
okay.
somehow gets fired.
It's two
I
for you
will
tonight.
drive to San. It's more than a two. I will drive to San Francisco in my shitty Altima, and I'd be like, I'll Uber Eats for you and pick you up and drive you one suitcase at a time to New England, please, please, sir.
Please, sir, may you come coach our team? Listen,
There's a chance they said it's a rumor.
If they fire Kyle Shanahan, someone is going to land an absolute gem of a head coach.
Gold mine.
Like, that is going to be a fucking home run. But I don't think John Lynch is and the Niners ownership is. I don't think they're built like that. I don't think they're going to look at one bad season and they're going to say it's a coaching change. We need to do it because I think they're trying to kind of not be like Pittsburgh Steeler-esque about it, but they're trying not to be knee-jerk about it.
Okay.
And if you're going to be knee-jerk about it, then yeah, you fire the coach. But that's also stupid. How many times we see when that happens, we're like, I mean, a lot of times they fire the coach and we're like, okay, that was the obvious answer.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we knew this was the obvious answer when you hired the coach. So, you know, I don't know. That being said, where do you go if you're the Niners? Where do you go if you decide to fire Kyle?
Oh my God! If they decide to fire Kyle,
Who do you replace him with?
you're gonna go the exact opposite of what you just had.
But who? And who's going to be better? And then you're throwing away, and then because now keep in mind, if you get rid of Kyle Shanahan, you have no offense.
No, now you have. Well, Brock Purdy might be leaving. Brock Purdy wants. His agent says he wants top of the market deal.
But is anybody okay? Cool. Brock Purdy can want top of the market deal.
I know.
And never underestimate the stupidity of an NFL GM to overpay for a guy, especially a team that's quarterback starved. Cough, Oakland or Vegas or whatever. But is there any scenario in which you see the Niners fire Kyle Shanahan and get better?
No, I don't.
No.
At all.
So I don't either. So I think Kyle Shanahan is fine. I think he's going to stay there, and they're going to retool and rebuild the roster, and John Lynch is going to do what he does.
I do think they let go of Christian McCaffrey, though. I think they.
I think at this point you're like, okay,
it's over.
Yeah, we tried. It almost worked, but the health thing is
Bad.
If you can't be on the field, like, what good are you? You're no good to us.
And then, like, every time he comes back, the doctors are like, do you know this is going on in your body? And he's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like every time he goes back, they're like, you're not ready. Like, you have all these other problems going on. And it's just like, at what point is the horse broken? And I think unfortunately he hit that spot.
Yeah, and that sucks because I'm a huge, like, obviously
McCaffrey fan, of course, because you love the dad.
His dad is one of my is my all-time favorite receiver.
What happened to his brother? Wasn't his brother in the league?
Yes, but no, he was in college. I don't think he made it to the league.
No? That's shocking.
Maybe he did, but it was a very low, like, entry-level role. It wasn't anything major. But yeah, San Fran, I think, has to, at this point, they have to look inside and say, like, all right, you got Deebo Samuel's frustrated. He wants out. He's banged up.
Dude, he drops everything now.
Christian McCaffrey is just too banged up to play. We almost won a Super Bowl with Mr. Irrelevant.
Ayuk, ass. I know he's hurt.
We were this close. The good news is Kyle Shanahan's a good enough offensive coach where if you give him a fresh set of talent. And I'm not even saying like it'd have to be a full overhaul. Because defensively they're still pretty good. But the Niners are just this has been just an atrocious season, like injury-wise.
But
it started in the Super Bowl last year with what was it, Greenlaw coming out the sideline and popping his Achilles.
Trey Greenlaw, yeah.
And you're like, and it feels like it's just gone downhill ever since then.
And then, did you pick them at the basement of the division, like below the Cardinals?
No, I thought even at like their very worst, they would be like second. Because they had just that much talent. But when all that talent is on the sidelines and not playing, doesn't do you any good. So, no, I don't really go into the season making my predictions based on like thinking like, oh yeah, Debo, Ayuk, and McCaffrey are all going to get hurt and miss significant amounts of time and suck. George Kittle's going to be the only one that's going to be healthy. No, I don't go into the thing. And even like
Purdy was hurt most of the year.
And Mason is on IR now, the backup running back.
How do you lose your top running back and the backup very good running back? You lost both of them for the year.
Yeah. I mean, it's been bad luck for the Niners. I mean, kind of like them in Detroit kind of just got hit.
Detroit is somehow staying afloat though. Detroit's still 12-2.
Well, Detroit has been able to manage because their injuries have come like fast and furious, but like, how do I say it? Like
NFC North, man,
less
Jesus
impactful
Christ.
at times. Like you can survive without Aiden Hutchinson. You might not win a Super Bowl without him, but you can survive the regular season without him.
Yeah.
Not as good as you could be, but, you can figure that out. You can't survive without Debo. You can't survive without McCaffrey. You can't survive without Mason. Those are the kind of guys that you just can't live without. And the Niners, I feel like, just have to they got to get through this season, get to the offseason, and make some wholesale changes on that roster. And I feel like, honestly, next year, as long as the coaching staff is intact and they don't make any stupid, crazy knee-jerk reactions, which I don't think they're going to do, I think they're past that point in their franchise history, I feel like they're going to be fine. They'll be right back in the mix. Maybe not a Super Bowl contender, but they'll be a playoff contender for sure. But right now, this year, dude, like I said, if there's one fucking team that I don't want to see come Wild Card Weekend, it's those Los Angeles Rams and Matt Stafford. Like, that team... Defensively, they leave a lot to be desired. They're very opportunistic, but they're very young. They're not very deep, but what they do have for talent is pretty good.
Yeah.
Then on the flip side on that offense, man, I'll tell you what, bro, if Stafford and McVay are clicking and they're calling a good game, dude, they're as good of offense as there is in the NFL. And the Rams, I feel like, can be like, I see them kind of like, how do I say this? They're like Denver, but with a slightly higher ceiling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're going to win it. They're not going all the way.
Right.
But they're definitely going to fuck up somebody's wild card weekend.
Right.
And they could even fuck up your divisional. You know what I mean? They could find themselves in the NFC Championship. You know what I mean? I feel like the NFC is that wide open. But when you look at teams like Green Bay, like, has there been a better offseason addition than Josh Jacobs to the Green Bay Packers?
Well, yeah, Saquon and Derrick Henry have been a better addition, but Josh Jacobs has fit in very well.
Fair. But what he has done for that offense and Jordan Love, like, how frustrating does that have to be as an NFC like North rival of the Green Bay Packers? And they get rid of Aaron Rodgers and they're like, Jordan Love, this kid fucking sucks. Fuck this asshole. And now here they are at what? 10-4,
10
or 9-5.
No, 10-4.
10-4,
and
going to the playoffs.
No, not yet. So there's only 3 people that have clinched. It's only the Eagles, Lions, and Vikings have clinched as well, playoff berth.
They're going.
Yeah, well, they're on track to go.
Yeah, so I think they need one more win. And
yeah, they need 2 more to clinch.
So, like, how frustrating is that as a fucking NFC North fan?
How frustrating is that as a Packers fan where you're 10-4 and you're third in the division?
I mean, does that suck? Yes, but long term, who are you betting on? Vikings, Lions, Packers.
I might go Vikings because of J.J. McCarthy.
I'm going Packers because the Packers have a history of doing this. Are they going to win a Super Bowl? No, but are they going to be the most consistent team finding themselves playing on, divisional and championship weekend? Probably for the next 5 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably, because it's what they do. It's what they do. They fucking figure it out. The Packers have,
Damn it.
one of the most obnoxious front offices in the history of front offices because they refuse to pull any, pull the trigger on any first-round talent for Aaron Rodgers. But, they'll go out and they'll sign Josh Jacobs in free agency. Can you imagine you gave Aaron Rodgers Josh Jacobs?
No thanks.
They're like, nah, man, you're Aaron Rodgers. You don't need him.
Too bad.
Yeah, fuck you, bro. Go figure it out.
Oh, what happened? They gave Aaron Rodgers Devontae Adams in New York, and he put together one great week. That was it.
Yeah, well, him and Devontae. Aaron Rodgers, kind of low-key having a decent season, though.
No.
He's got 20-plus touchdowns.
Devontae? I don't think so.
No, not Devontae.
Dude.
Aaron Rodgers is. Statistically, Aaron Rodgers' season is not terrible.
Oh, I don't think either of them are having good seasons.
A-Rod's over 20, I think.
23-8.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not
For
him good, but it's not bad. When you look at the Jets' record, would you think 23-8?
The Jets.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's the Jets. They suck.
4-10.
Fucking terrible franchise, dude. Terrible franchises do terrible franchise shit.
No, they don't even score well. They just suck at everything.
I know. Well, they don't. They have just. We knew this going in.
I know.
We knew this. We saw it. We called it. Go back and listen to our shows from the summer. We were so low on the Jets when everybody else was riding high on them. There was nothing. We saw the writing on the wall.
Rodgers in New York is just a bad mixture. Would not surprise me if he pulled the Brett Favre routine and he says, I'm going to go to Minnesota for 1 year.
You know what? That would surprise me.
It would not surprise me
because
at all.
I don't think the Minnesota Vikings have any interest in him at this point.
For one season?
Nope.
No. Because they don't want
At
Darnold.
42 years old?
They don't want Darnold.
Bro, do you not remember? They got Danny Dimes waiting in the wings.
The Minnesota?
Yeah.
He went there?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot all about that. No, they have J.J. McCarthy. He's the guy
And
they drafted.
also, yes, they have J.J. McCarthy too. But let's say J.J.
What?
McCarthy's not ready for opening day, and Danny Dimes is the opening day starter.
I don't think he will be ready. That's the thing.
Danny Dimes for comeback player of the year in 2025. I could get behind that.
Would Rodgers stay in the same building and just go to the Giants? It moves across the hall. Because he's just lazy.
No, because I think the Giants are just as low-key a shit show as the Jets.
So
Because think about it. Wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if Saquon goes, they jettison Saquon, he goes to Philly, wins MVP this year. Which I think is a realistic, very realistic thing.
It's a
possibility.
Yeah.
And then Danny Dimes, they get rid of him. He goes to Minnesota next year and wins comeback player of the year.
Yeah, they'll fire everybody.
Would that not just be like the most, would the Giants would be looking around being like, what the fuck? How the fuck did we end up here? Who made this decision? And it's like,
the owner.
oh, well, that's right. John, the Maras are completely fucking lost touch with all reality.
The Maras.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but they've been more concerned with players talking trash on the field than they have with actually putting players good enough to talk trash on the field. So, if you're surprised by this as a Giants fan, I don't know why. But
what about Mara saying it would leave a really bad taste in my mouth if Saquon left for the Eagles, and the GM's like, nah, it ain't gonna happen. And he goes to the Eagles. He's having a career year.
He ain't gonna go to he ain't gonna go to the Eagles. And even if he does, bro, it's not like he's gonna fucking put up Adrian Peterson 2012 numbers and win MVP. It's like the old Odell thing. Nah, he's definitely not gonna go to the club in a mesh shirt.
Who cares if he's dancing on a boat with a bunch of men in a mesh shirt and dancing?
He's like, nah, he ain't gonna. It's not like he's dancing on a boat with a bunch of guys in a mesh shirt. Oh shit, that was one of the funniest.
He's like, man, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. But no, I just think it would be so fucking Giants for that to happen. And low key, the Giants have become such a trash ass organization. The only thing that kept them afloat, and no one realizes this, was the influence of the Manning family.
Yeah.
Because then they were like, listen, you're gonna trade for Eli. And they ultimately traded Phillip Rivers. It was they traded for Eli. They gave up Phillip Rivers, Nate Kading, and Sean Merriman.
Yes.
For Eli Manning.
And it worked out.
And worked out great. But they built a team
Poor
around
Phil.
They built a team around Eli those years. They built a team. They had Tom Coughlin. They had good coaching. They had good.
I think Phillip Rivers would have done just as well in New York, though.
Statistically, sure.
You don't think he would have won?
No. No, because I don't think that the Maras were again, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they are as committed to winning as Giants fans
Hope they
deserve to be.
So like John Henry and the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like Red Sox fans deserve to have an ownership that wants to win and wants to compete with the Yankees every year. And John Henry did that for what, a decade maybe?
04 to
09. 5 years, 6 years,
No, I
and
think
then 13. Well,
I
13.
think 13. I think 04 to 13.
So 10 years, 03 to 13.
yeah, 10 years.
Call it a decade. And then they were like,
And we fell into luck in 18.
right. They got hot at the right time. They drafted a couple of really good players. Didn't have to pay anybody, and now those players they played are winning championships in LA. So,
yeah,
you know, how's that working
I
out?
don't want to talk
And
about
then the Red Sox, and then they're like, we're in on Juan Soto. We just got outbid. Oh, we're in on what's his name? The pitcher
Burns.
They're like, we're all in on. Oh, we just got outbid. What did I tell you that was going to happen?
I think they
The Red Sox were going to feign interest, and they knew their offer was going to come up short. But they were going to pretend just to keep the fans, just, keep them this, oh, we're so close. Like, oh, guys, come on. Like, we're trying, man. We're really trying.
I really do think the Red Sox call the agent, Scott Boras, whoever it is, and they say, what's the offer? What's the best offer you have right now? Don't tell me the team. What's the best offer you have? And Boras says $15,765. Red Sox like, damn. We had $14,705. Well,
guess we can't do this deal. All right, see you
but
later.
the fact that they put it out there is like technically they did put an offer out there.
Yes, which is what I said. They always flow out offers that they know are going to come up short, so they can say like, "Well, we were in on it, but we just got outbid because these other greedy teams just, they just want to spend more money. We're just not going to do that." Like,
But like I love arguing with people online right now. People are like, oh, well, we shouldn't do that deal because that 5th year he's probably going to be injured. I'm like, we don't have the option right now of taking that luxury.
he could be injured the first fucking year, or it could be Pablo Sandoval. Didn't stop you from doing that fucking deal either.
I know. If we were a championship contending team and the salary cap mattered and we had to budget our resources, sure. We're at a point where we have fucking nobody. You're going to have to eat shit like that because you're not good enough to make those demands. That's how it fucking works.
Yeah.
Period. So, like, when people say, oh, well, they were on Soto, it makes no difference to me. I would rather have them not call at all instead of pull what they did. Don't tell me you did 14 and 710, and then you lost out because it was an extra year. That makes you sound like you're a fucking cheap bitch.
Yep.
All you had to do is pay money, and you said, no thanks, I'm not going to pay money.
Or if you're smart, if you're smarter than that, it makes you sound like you intentionally you didn't lowball it, but you came in with an offer that you knew wasn't going to be good enough, just so you could say you made an offer.
Yeah, you lowballed the fuck out of it.
You didn't lowball it because you were like, well, we were only a year off, or we were only $40 million off over 5 years. Oh, we were so close, just didn't work out this time. But there'll be always next year, guys.
We'll get them, guys.
We'll get them for sure, guys. We'll get them. No, you won't. The Yankees just got worlds better. The Dodgers are better. Like, you're not competing with either one of those teams next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Astros traded away Kyle Tucker, the Yankee fucker, and he's gone. So, which doesn't really bother me because I know the Astros almost always have a plan to replace talent that they let go of. So if they're letting go of talent, that means they're clearing money and getting ready to add and do things when they deem fit. But I think the Astros will be like a 3rd or 4th place team this year.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be a Super Bowl, World Series contending team, but long way to go for that. But back to the original point, ownership matters. The Jets' ownership sucks. The Giants' ownership sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley's going to win an MVP this year. Danny Dimes
maybe
winning comeback player of the year next year would be fucking hysterical. Like, I would cry laughing. And I love the Giants. You know how indebted I am to Big Blue for the rest of my life.
Yes, of course, absolutely.
And my cousin was a diehard Giants fan. My uncle was a diehard Giants fan. The Giants have always been one of those kind of just near and dear teams to my heart. And I hate to see them suck.
Yeah.
But the Maras have just made it so fucking impossible to root for them because they refuse to put good talent on the field.
Right.
And it's like, bro, this is a classic franchise. Get off your ass. Please do something with it. Stop letting them suck. No one wants to see the Giants suck except for the Redskins, Eagles, and Cowboys fans.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
maybe the Jets too, but
sometimes-
nobody wants to see the Giants suck. No one's
Sometimes
no
the
one's
Patriots
mad when
fans.
the Giants good. It's like I always say,
I'm mad when the Giants are good.
the NFL is a better place when the Raiders are good.
Yeah.
Because it gives everybody that team to hate.
History. Yeah, the history.
And the history and the tradition. You know, it's like the same that the Packers. You want to see the Packers in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, like you want to see those classic teams come to play in January.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Dolphins to a degree. You know, it'd be nice if the Dolphins got out of their own fucking way and put a quality product on the field for once.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, and did it for an extended period of time. You know, I'm not talking 2 or 3 years. Like, no, like, I mean, I'm not saying go on a Patriots 20-year fucking run.
Right.
But 10 years would be cool. You know, maybe.
Anything.
I don't know. The Chargers fucking screwed Phillip Rivers for a fucking decade and a half. Like, you know, like, what was I going to.
I really ownership and how ownership can fuck over an entire franchise for
you mentioned
for
Brock Bowers earlier.
Yeah.
To bring it back to the Raiders real quick.
Yeah.
I really hope Brock Bowers isn't dumb enough to sign a second contract with the Raiders. Please don't do it. Please, Brock Bowers. I don't care if you are the greatest tight end in the history of all the earth, and you are going to go down, and you are going to be Gronk meets Tony Gonzalez meets Shannon Sharp, and you are going to eclipse. You're going to be like in a top 5 receiving record, let alone for tight ends.
Right.
Please do not ever think you will affect the wins and losses of the Oakland Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders. You won't
that
do
poor
it.
bastard.
Please go somewhere where you can do what you will do, and the team will be good because we want to see good players play in January.
He goes to the Chiefs, and Joey's like, not there. With Mahomes.
At least it wouldn't be the Raiders.
You're like, I wish you were dead. Like, you should.
At that point, I'd be like, okay, you had like
31 other options.
31 fucking options, and you fucked up. But whatever. Hey, but you know what? At least I could hate him now.
Yes, exactly.
So that's good because at least he'll be playing in January. He gives me somebody to hate. That's a plus. It's not bad. It's a plus.
Mahomes would be old man at that point.
Yeah, but what do old men need? Great tight ends. Just ask your boy.
It's very true.
Best years of his career, arguably.
I'm gonna go text Tom. Tom, what's going on? Like, well, wait, he's actually with the fucking Raiders. I forgot.
I know.
I messed up.
Which is why I'm like nervous that the Raiders are gonna do like, they're like people are gonna actually like think Tom Brady has any like influence over that franchise. And they're like, well, Tom Brady's no, I'm gonna go there. It's like no.
They draft somebody. They're like, Brady must have drafted this.
He's
kid.
an owner in name only, bro. Like he's just there to make cake. Like stop.
Yo, of course. Yeah.
Stop.
I can't wait for with them when the Raiders select a quarterback. They're gonna be like, Brady's gonna train this kid.
Like if they take Shador Sanders,
Brady's gonna train Shador.
I'm gonna die laughing.
That's the first thing you're gonna hear. Brady's gonna train Shador.
Oh, of course. Oh, he's got Brady as a mentor. It's like,
No.
okay, like, so what? He still can't make him like throw the football. It doesn't help. Not nearly as much as you think. Not nearly, and not to say Shador is a bad player or like not great, but I don't think he's first round NFL quarterback material. Not from what I've seen. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I would be hard pressed to see anybody to show me anything that says that like, oh yeah, this kid's worth a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter. Again, I feel like that's a wild card. I don't know if I'd be taking Travis Hunter top 5.
No.
Not unless I could get verbal commitment out of him like, hey man, like we know you love playing corner, but like you're gonna have to pick one or the other.
Yeah, but you gotta make him pick.
Or are you just gonna come to camp and let us pick for you?
That's tough. That's
actually, it won't even come to camp. It's like we're gonna draft you, and we want you to play either A or B.
Yeah.
But and like do what they did with Champ Bailey when he first got to Denver. Mike Shanahan used him on offense a couple times because people forget like Champ Bailey led Georgia in receiving yards in '98 or '97, whatever it was, when he was there. He led them. He was their number 1 receiver in terms of yardage. And then he got to the NFL and he was just like, no, I'm going to play corner. And great choice. But they found little packages, little things they could do for him. You know, like I'll never forget that opening night game against Kansas City when he made his debut for Denver on Sunday Night Football, and he had the pick, and then they threw a little screen out to him, you know, a little like bubble screen thing, and he just took it up the field for a first down, and like, you know, that was it. And they were like, okay, that's our, I think at the time, like $60 million, $70 million corner, like go play corner, like we don't need you getting hurt doing playing wide receiver, so get off the field. But it just, I don't know. I mean, I know we got all spring to talk about Shador and Hunter and all these guys coming out, but man, it would just be the most Raider shit of all time for them to take Shador Sanders at quarterback, because I just don't.
That screams out like what they would do.
Right, that just screams like we want name brand recognition. We don't care how good you are. We just want your name.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
And that's never a formula for winning, but that's never stopped the Raiders from doing it. Never, not once. All right. Did we forget anything? Did we leave anything out?
No.
Was there anything we had to cover that we didn't?
We officially covered everything on the list that we had.
Okay. That's good. I think that's what we wanted.
Yes, we did. Bears suck. Red Sox whiff. Niners, Dolphins collapse. Bill to University of North Carolina. Buffalo too reliant on Allen. Detroit cooked. NFL playoff picture. That's everything.
Yep.
That was all 9 topics.
And then we'll do the NCAA playoffs. Well, actually, we won't, because we won't be back now for 2 weeks. We'll be off for 2 weeks because next week's Christmas Eve and the following week is New Year's Eve.
Oh shit, that's right.
So we got unless Paul and I, we might be able, or maybe we pull a show on like a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon
morning.
Well, like a preview show.
Fucking Facebook me in. Not Facebook me in. What am I trying to say? Zoom me in.
Oh, we could do like a Monday show.
Mondays suck. Because by the time I get home, it's like fucking like 7 p.m.
No, I know. But I'm just saying. Well, Paul. Oh, wait. Paul works Mondays. That's right.
Well, you can't even do that then.
Yeah, Paul works on Mondays now. So it has to be either like Sunday or
Christmas Day.
Yeah. No, I'm working.
Oh, Jesus. That
Yeah,
sucks.
I work Christmas and New Year's this year, so I have my schedule, and it just sucks is I don't have my swaps.
Yeah.
Because obviously my swap falls on both New Year's and Christmas Eve, and my swap partner wasn't able to do it this year, so.
I understand.
Is what it is. Yeah, I don't blame him. He's got kids, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the reason.
Yeah, and I'm not going to, I was willing to work Christmas Day for Christmas Eve off, but I couldn't get anybody to bite, or take it. So apparently it wasn't that important, but is what it be. I mean, I could just be that jackass and bang on Christmas Eve, but no, I'm not going to be that guy. I ain't that guy, pal. As much as I want to be. But anyway, so we will definitely be back in 3 weeks. If Paul and I can figure something out to do like on a Sunday morning, like pregame kind of whatever, do like a quick hour.
Yeah.
Or something, because by the time we get back, it'll be basically playoff time.
Yes, exactly, it will.
After the holidays. It kind of sucks about
this. If
this.
you're a Patriots fan, you're not going to miss anything. You're simply getting blown out. Like
yeah.
3
but
fucking weeks.
We'll see what happens. We'll try to keep you guys up, whatever. We'll put something up if, for not for nothing. I'll have something up.
Yeah, okay.
To cover it up. But even if it's just me talking for a quick half hour or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll just do something.
Better than nothing.
So, but I have Sunday, Monday off, so I can do something like Monday morning. Or maybe I get Paul to come over and do a Monday morning with me.
Oh, there you go.
We could do that. Do a date, morning show. We'll be sipping coffee instead of vodka. Weird.
Oh,
in
Bailey's
the
coffee.
Big change of pace. Well, yeah, it's my day off, so I can still do that. But anyhow, we're going to get out of here. We're going to leave it there for Mr. Betancourt. And Plizzy, you could not be here tonight. I am Joey Fats. Thank you all for joining us. Joey Fats Radio, live on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide, row 1, seat 1. We will be back in a couple of weeks. Have yourself a wonderful holidays. Stay safe.
A merry little Christmas.
And we will talk to you most likely next year.
Damn.
To be that corny ass motherfucker about it. Which sucks because I really hate the way the schedule's falling. But I hate to not do a show next week. But I still might do a show next week. We'll see. Yeah, anyway.
Guys, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Sayonara. Peace out. We'll talk to you in a
Enjoy.
couple of weeks. Have a good holidays. And we'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Adios.